Hello, welcome everybody to another BD Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad. That's right, sure I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. Another edition of the BD Morning Show on the morning of the big fight. I mean, listen, what are we supposed to do here? It is the big fight, and we got to offer up one last show before it all happens. So shout out to everybody out there. Before we get down to the fun, because we got a lot to get to, let's get the business out of the way. You guys know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You could also donate by joining the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. You can donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. You can also join our Patreon page for free. Well, I posted about 2 videos in the last week regarding Crawford-Canelo, and of course, before that, Bucho also posted a couple of other videos in regards to that fight. It's stuff that we cannot post on YouTube, so make sure to go check it out. And if you want to join for as little or as much as you want, you're certainly welcome to do so. However, the most important thing is to like and subscribe. All right, that's the most important thing. Spread that BDA gospel. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Martin Kearney, Jack Ripper, hashtag CDB, Jay Will. Shout out to Jay Will, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat. He did not leave a message, but shout out to him. Either way, we always appreciate your help and your contributions, and he keeps the gravy train a-rolling. You know, we're going to be taking phone calls later on, I believe. I don't think on this show, or in this episode, but maybe in the post-fight show. Because who knows what's going to happen, especially if something dramatic happens. We're going to get a lot of phone calls. So every little bit of your contributions helps. Cool Bro, shout out to Cool Bro, shout out to Knockout Ned, Steph K, Analyst Corner, aka Official Scorecard Boxing. Go check out the video he did. We posted it over at BDA Live. No, excuse me, it's called BDA Clips, or secondary channel. It's a very good video. I encourage everybody to go check it out. And once again, big thanks to Official Scorecard, aka Steph K, for making that insightful, hard-hitting video. Shout out to Nightmurph, one of the initiated. Shout out to Grim Reaper, Hard Recoil, Messivar, Windy City, Dwayne Styles, Boxing Sage, Langsbury Gold, Casamigos Kyle, JC, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Now, like I said, the build-up to this fight may prove to be more entertaining than the actual bout. It wouldn't be the first time for a fight of this magnitude, and I've enjoyed this build-up. I gotta tell you, it really sustained throughout an entire month. I remember I was telling people, saying, I think this hype is gonna sort of die down maybe 3 weeks before the fight. I think people are gonna get tired of talking about it. No such thing. No sorry bump. This fight captured the public's imagination. And, maybe that speaks volumes about the lack of fights we've been having, because not for nothing, but Usyk Fury and Beterbiev Bivol, those were the 2 fights on top of most hardcore boxing fans' cards. We all wanted to see those fights, and because of different promotional issues, political barriers, we couldn't get that fight done. And then came along the Sheik with his war coffers, and he managed to get the fights done. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Sheik and Dana White, and how there's a couple of people out there who are trying to put a kibosh on the whole operation. And then, of course, you got the usual opportunists trying to get a little shine by grandstanding. That's the word I've been seeing all over the internet, grandstanding. Attention whoring might be a little bit more of an apt term. Perhaps not, a little uncouth, but hey, nobody ever accused Mr. BDA of being the most sophisticated guy out there. And now I'm speaking in the third person like a jackass. I mean, I got to tell you, the circle's almost complete. But we're going to talk about that. And this fight has captured the public's imagination. There's been a lot of narratives. I think it's been overhyped perhaps a little bit in terms of the historical implications. But at the end of the day, it has been a fun ride. And it's a shame that it has to end. However, we still got a couple of hours before the actual fight occurs. So let's milk it for all it's worth. Shout out to Quickslot, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat. He says, TBV community post Canelo got the best versus Boots. TBV community post Canelo got the best versus Boots. All right. I don't know exactly what that means. I think a community post. I think he's talking about how the story is now that Canelo got the best. Excuse me. He ended up getting the best of Boots in sparring, which is something that's unsurprising. I mean, we hear that sources say. And then Washington, he's a guy on our Discord, told us, hey, he says he's got inside sources. Now, I didn't know the guy all that much prior to his message, so I was thinking, okay, that's just another sources say. But then Yoeli Hernandez, the middleweight contender, who just recently beat Kyron Davis, by the way, and who was in training camp sparring Canelo. You can see snippets of him sparring Canelo in the second episode of the Netflix Countdown show. He ended up saying later on over at Mill City Boxing, we're going to play that clip, that it was Canelo who controlled Boots in sparring. It was pretty much doing what he wanted. And so apparently that was a story. So it seems to make sense. Seems to make some sort of sense. I mean, come on, the guy that's struggling against the Karen and who's getting hit flush against Evanesian and pretty much every top opponent he's fought, he's gonna outbox Canelo. And even if he did, even if he, that's what I was saying earlier in the week, or 2 weeks ago rather, even if Boots had somehow gotten the best out of Canelo in sparring, sometimes guys work on their weaknesses in sparring. So it's possible maybe Canelo was just working on defense. But then again, now we know that that's not what happened, that it was actually Canelo who ended up getting the best of Ennis. So, I mean, and that must have been some good sparring, man, because you saw the size of Ennis. This dude he's a super middleweight. And we're going to talk about the size thing. My goodness, why is this thing crackling so much? We're going to be talking about the size thing, or so-called size disparity, later on, because there's been way too much being said about that. I talked about it earlier in the week, and I got a lot more to say about that. Real quick, just trying to get a little something here. Last thing, what are people saying in the chat? LV says, Bud better bring it and not run, or his legacy is ruined. VMC. Well, you know what, LV? Most of the so-called experts out there are picking Crawford, and almost all of them, even if they give Canelo a chance, or even if some of them pick Canelo, they emphasize that Crawford is the superior boxer. He's got the superior IQ. I'm going to show you, if I can, later. A Ring Magazine just recently spoke to a couple of trainers. All of them describe Crawford as being slick. And I remember years ago, I used to make fun of the fact, I was in jest, I would say, I'm never going to use the word slick. I banned that word for a little while on the show. I was like, no, I don't want to use slick. Elusive, slippery. I forget the other adjective I used, but I didn't want to use the word slick. Be that as it may, part of the joke was, what the hell is slick anyway? How do you define slickness? And in this scenario, people are describing Crawford as slick, and I just don't see it. He can be hard to hit when he wants to be, especially if he uses his feet in conjunction with counterpunching. In other words, his offense starts helping out as his defense, where people are afraid to jump on him or to be too aggressive against him. But he's not slick in the sense of a Shakur Stevenson, who appears to be, at least in the media's eyes, as the epitome of the slickster. So that's my take on that. But we're going to... But what I wanted to say about that, LV, I start going on a rant here early in the morning, is that no matter what happens, Crawford is going to get a lot of credit for this. That's just the way it is, because he's the smaller, older guy coming up, right? That's what people keep saying. And as we're going to see later on, he doesn't appear to be that much smaller. If he's indeed smaller in weight than Canelo, it's not by as much as people think. This is certainly ain't Roy Jones versus John Luis, where Luis had about 2-3 inches of height on Jones, maybe like 20, 25 pounds on top of that on him. So we're going to talk about that. But look at this. Look at the size of Jaron Ennis here. That's a super middleweight. Something that Thunderdome is one of the people that's been telling people for years, that Jaron Ennis, this is a super middleweight hiding over at welterweight. And we just recently found out the same thing about Crawford. At least the revelations that came out from his own camp and from his own mouth. But we're going to get to that. Believe me, all in due time. What else are people saying in the chat? Donovan McNabb says, what time is the fight? According to what I read, they're saying 11 p.m. But usually I would suspect it's a little bit up after that. Langsbury says, all emotions aside and personal preferences, this is an intriguing fight. Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Quickslot says, Mr. BDA, who you got? Teo versus Shakur. I got Shakur Stevenson. Please stop referring to these guys by their first name. We don't know them. They're fighters. There's a responsibility of keeping a certain distance from these guys. But I would say Stevenson's going to win it. But I hear so many people saying he's going to wash Teo. That's what they call him, Teo. In other words, Lopez. And I don't know. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson really is going to wash him. He's probably going to outpoint him. I don't think he's going to fight him the way he did fight Hartunonian or William Cepeda, because contrary to those guys, Lopez is faster. And even though he hasn't been scoring knockouts, he's moving up to 140. The guy can crack. You didn't see Barbosa too eager to jump on him. And then again, Barbosa is not the type of guy. He's not a go-getter. He's a counter-puncher more than anything else. But then again, so is Stevenson. So to my point, Stevenson is not going to fight him in the pocket the way he tried in certain spots against Hartunonian or William Cepeda. Handsome Mechanic says, that's racist BDA. I don't know what he's referring to. Shout out to Blue Collar Sports TV, a.k.a. Del Boy, says, slick equals cunning and conniving. Well, I didn't say any of that, but I guess you could go with that. Sure, why not? LV says, just saying, Crawford better not pull a Charlo. Bud ain't slick. He's mobile. He's quick. Yeah, but you're right, he ain't slick. Blue Collar Sports TV says, wouldn't be shocked if Crawford does his best Charlo impression. I mean, listen, we'll see. We'll only find out once he eats a Canelo shot. And then we'll find out what it's really all about. We'll see if he's got that dog, the famous dog that everyone's talking about.
This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I'm a dog.
Yeah, man, we'll find out about that dog. Let me tell you, I'm very interested in all of that. What else are people saying? Zab Judah said Nello looks scared. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone, we were talking about that in the VC during the final press conference. Everyone's always overanalyzing every little thing. He looks nervous. Look at him. He blinked. That means he's nervous. Look at him. He's breathing. That means he's nervous. All right. There's a big market for that on YouTube too. These people that watch any little interaction, particularly in podcasts, like they'll take a clip from Joe Rogan and like a 2-second clip, and they'll make a 15-minute video out of it. Look at the way he's twitching here. Look at his facial muscles. It's almost as if his nose, and they start extrapolating a whole bunch of things out of that. Windy C says BDA loves Shakira. I like the singer Shakira. I like nothing wrong with her, let me tell you. But as far as Shakur Stevenson, I defended Shakur Stevenson after the Hartunonian fight. I said, I don't understand why a lot of people were walking out of that fight. I did explain why I understood them walking out. It's because they expected Shakur Stevenson to all of a sudden turn into Sugar Shane Mosley circa 1999. And that's never going to be Shakur Stevenson. Even against a guy getting off the couch at the last minute, like Padley or whatever the guy's name was, he couldn't put the guy out. Couldn't take him out. I mean, he stopped him, but he couldn't really put him on the floor and leave him there. So at best, Shakur Stevenson is going to be like a Winky Wright guy. If he's fighting forward or in the pocket, he's going to outwork guys, but it's going to be very mundane and uneventful. But shout out to Winky Wright. At least he fought that way for most of his career after 2000. After the year 2000, he fought a good 5 years on the front foot, outboxing people. Jaquan, I don't know what. Reeves says 3-time undisputed champ. Round 1 says, let's hit that like button. Yes, absolutely. Hit that like. Really helps us out. Langsbury says, first shot Canelo lands will be his trademark left hook to the body. He's got to watch out for those wide hooks, though, because if he starts off right off the bat with those wide hooks, Crawford is a good counterpuncher. That's one of the things I was exploring in the video over at Patreon. Go check it out, people. Go check out those videos. Crawford does have a quick counterpunch trigger. I think he's a superior counterpuncher to Charlo, although Charlo is better at keeping his hands up and countering on the move. Charlo and Crawford were very similar in their primes. Charlo, in the bulk of his 154 run, where he became undisputed champion, a lot of times he was laboring against his opposition, but then he would pull out the fights via his power. But then when he fought Canelo, he connected some. In some spots, he connected with some left hooks, and he just couldn't budge Canelo. So once his power got taken away, he didn't really have a plan B. And that's what we're waiting to see what happens with Crawford, because we've said it ad nauseum on this show. A lot of times, it was the power that bailed Crawford out. It wasn't necessarily the adjustments and the high astronomical ring IQ that people keep talking about with him. It was a power more than anything. Now, I'm not saying he's a Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying he's a Tank Davis type of guy. But the approach and the end result was the same. It's this guy's dropping rounds against subpar opposition, and then he ends up knocking his opposition out. Canelo, on the other hand, is moving forward, outboxing his foes on the front foot, and he's dominating for most of the fight, on top of dropping his opponents. So when people say, oh, Canelo, all he has is power, well, the power wasn't necessarily winning him the fights and dominating the rounds against Berlanga and Munguia and John Ryder and Charlo. He was backing those dudes up with strength, with defense. They couldn't catch him. So there is some ring IQ there. So, and also boxing intelligence. So I don't understand why people keep downgrading his abilities. But again, we shall see what happens tonight. Hey, listen, all our speculation, all our analysis, all our forecasting, it's all going to come to a head or a heat or whatever they call it on fight night in a couple of hours or more than a couple of hours. That's why I essentially decided to do the morning show today and not yesterday, because usually after a fight, I'm very charged. I'm very electrified. There's a jolt there, in anticipation of such a mega fight. The pump and circumstance, when you see these guys back in the dressing room, they're warming up, and you're like, holy smokes, the fight is here, and maybe in 30 minutes it's going to happen. So, you're very electrified. And we do the post-fight shows, the post-fight calling shows, and I take a lot of calls. We take a lot of calls. Sometimes the episodes go deep into the wee hours of the dawn. And by the time it's over, I'm thinking, all right, finally I can go get some sleep. And then I lie down and I can't go to sleep. So that's why I'm waking up early right now. That's why I woke up early, because I want to be tired by the time the fight ends. Because on top of that, and this is very poor planning, by the way, from these people, but Inoue MJ, a couple of hours after the Canelo Crawford main event. So Canelo Crawford, again, 11 p.m. Eastern time is when they're saying they're going to fight. Let's say it ends at midnight, 15 past midnight, whatever. And then we do a show. It ends at 3 in the morning. Then the main event, Inoue MJ, they're saying it's going to be 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. So I don't know how I'm gonna have to try to go to sleep, try to catch a couple of Z's. And so that's why I'm trying to keep myself up today, so that by the time the fight ends and the show ends, I'm going to be tired and I'm going to manage to get a couple of hours of sleep before the Inoue fight. I think Bucho's planning on just staying up all night until the Inoue fight, so I don't know how that's going to work out. I for some reason, I have an aversion staying up too much. But hey, listen, so many people do it working, right? So many late night shifters, so many people, overnight guys, people do that, so shouldn't be complaining about that. I remember I was reading about, I don't know if you guys remember the interview with the vampire, the 1994 movie with Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas. And I think Brad Pitt said, it was one of the most difficult things in my life because they were filming at night. And, every time I would come out of this cauldron of darkness, and I'm thinking, come on, man. There's people that are out there driving trucks, working security, unloading trucks at night, working throughout the night. And you're acting, and it's the big deal. You want people to feel sorry for you. How much did he make for that movie? $5 million? Back then in 1994, adjusted for inflation, that's a lot of money. He has the goal to complain about it. Come on. Quick Thought says, yeah, that's what I'm scared of. Bud's counter uppercut he did versus Spence when Spence went for the body. Yeah, that's a good observation there, Quick Slot. He counters, he times guys while they're coming in with the uppercuts, and he doesn't even slip the incoming fire. He just stands there and throws a lead uppercut. And he catches guys with those. So Canelo's got to watch out for that, because he ended up going to his safe space too much against School, which is when Canelo goes for those wide sledgehammers, he tends to dip down. So he has to watch out for that. Otherwise, he might run into a Crawford uppercut. Langsbury says Facebook for Inoue MJ. Yeah, that's the thing. If you guys haven't heard the news, the Inoue MJ fight is going to be broadcasted on Facebook. Facebook Live, to be more precise. And that's the interesting thing, though. I was expecting it to take place on BDSM Live, which it's a pretty good website. It's got a good layout. It was well planned. It's easily accessible. Just a good website overall. Just if you're into website layouts and design and all that, it's you'll appreciate it. But maybe that's where they're gonna hold the fight next. I don't know. Top Rank is gonna be moving to Stars, but in the meantime, Xvideo, Pornhub, some of these sites. Maybe they can revive gore.com and start hosting a couple of fights there. Gypsy Boxing Style, shout out to Gypsy. Good to hear from him. We didn't get to hear from him yesterday, but shout out to Gypsy Boxing Style. Says, I just bet $400 on Crawford. Well, there you go. The Desperado says, I am hyped. Might be the cocaina, though. Oh, well, listen, rock out with your cock out, man. Do what you got to do. Dex 2024 says, it's 5 a.m. on my time. Dry your eyes. Yeah, that's the other thing, though. I'm here complaining, too. I'm pulling a Brad Pitt, complaining about, the fight's at 11 p.m. Eastern time, and then the main event of Inoue, it's a couple of hours later. Fucking Brits, they got to stay up till 5 in the morning, or they got to wake up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning to watch the main event between Canelo and Crawford. So shout out to all of you guys over there in Europe. Quickslot says, whatever happened to Dr. 805? You know what? I kind of feel bad because I wanted to continue our conversations about how ketosis, the keto diet, isn't optimal and how people's eating regimen is bad. And I wanted to get his thoughts on Crawford, too, because he's got a lot to say about Crawford and how he's genetically predisposed to be able to cut so much weight. And Dr. 805 said this years ago, before anyone else, because I don't know if you guys saw Exodus Files, just recently dropped another video, this time about Canelo Crawford, some of the hijinks occurring around that as it pertains to Crawford's weight gain. And Dr. 805 said that like this dude has the ability to cut a lot of weight, hence why. And then I'm going to get to that weight thing. But yeah, shout out to Dr. 805. Hopefully we get him back one of these days. Blue Coat Sports TV says, it could be effective, LV. Look at how Crawford was buying the feints against MJ Akhmadaliev. I'd like to see those Canelo set of feints. You confused me there, Del Boy. I don't know. Crawford buying the feints against MJ Akhmadaliev. I think he meant Madrimov. Yeah, he must have. Okay, yeah, I get it. He must have been Madrimov. All right. Shout out to Del Boy. Desperado says, who has Facebook still? Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they're not holding the fight on MySpace. Lafayette Garza, shout out to Lafayette Garza, someone that initiated, and he has that dog. Look at that. Again, that looks like a puma or a panther of some sort. Or a cheetah, maybe? I don't know. We're going to change that badge there.
I was not impressed.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. That's not what I wanted to play, though.
I'm a dog.
There you go, the ever infamous dog. Blue Collar Sports says, manager of my bad. Yeah, it's unacceptable, Del Boy. Next time this occurs, you're out of here, mister. Real Talk Combat says, damn, fuck me, I haven't slept yet. Jeez, Louise. What the fuck? I think I saw this dude on the live yesterday. He was he brought up a good point, by the way. That video of Canelo, everyone always brings that up. Canelo demanded 200 mil to fight Benavidez. And I always brought up the point of, did he ask for that officially in negotiations? Is that the offer that he made Benavidez? But people just ran with the whole 200 million thing. And then Real Talk Combat finally played the video. Because most of us just overlook it, right? We don't actually listen closely to the video. Canelo said, if somebody offers me 200 mil to fight tomorrow, I'm taking it. So what did he say? He says, I'm fighting tomorrow for that amount of money. And I still maintain he was making fun of the whole Benavidez thing where 5 million was the offer. Then all of a sudden, Lukowitz goes, we have a 70 million offer. No, excuse me, it was 50 million. Then it went to 70 million. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers don't even have a network to air fights on over the PBC. And somehow they're raising 70 million. If they're going to make 70 mil off the fight, it's because of Canelo, not the other way around. But I'm tired of I'm really tired of this fucking Canelo and Benavidez fight. I do still blame Canelo a little bit because if he really was about that, the fans and all that, in a perfect world, he could have said, fuck it, I'm giving you everything and we're making the fight. But this is a business. If he acquiesces to the Benavidez's demands, then the next guy tries to, he sets a bad precedent. Then the next guy wants more, or they think they can finagle Canelo out of something else. And so I think he just got tired of Lukowitz and his BS. By the way, there's a video out there, I got it saved, of Lukowitz being asked, hey, could this fight happen on the zone? Again, this was before Canelo broke away from Eddie Hearn. And they asked Lukowitz, could we see Canelo Benavidez on the zone? And Lukowitz just, without missing a beat, he just shakes his head no. So what the fuck? So they're dictating terms to the A side. I'd never seen that before. A guy like Benavidez who can't draw flies on pay-per-view. And it's not even Benavidez, it's his management. That fucking Lukowitz, that his promoter, he has to get rid of this dude because finally now, after years, they're finally deciding to take the Saudi money. He could have been making that Saudi money as far back as 2 years ago. So anyway, I'm tired of talking about that. Gabriel Sanchez, shout out to Gabriel, says, Crawford gonna get knocked out. He's 38 years old, going up 2 weight divisions. Don't expect a miracle to happen tonight. Well, he's not technically going up 2 weight divisions. He's just no longer cutting weight. Blue Collar Sports TV says they all look the same to me. Yeah, all these white people, they all look the same to me too, man. I'm on the same boat. Maton says those videos never showed Crawford struggling to make weight on HBO's 2 days versus Beltran. I do remember him looking gaunt. What was it, prior to the Gamboa fight? I do remember him in one of those 2 days segments. I don't know if they only did one with Crawford, but I remember him looking very gaunt at 135. I can't. Looking back at it now, man, it's amazing that this dude was making 135. Man, there's a lot of comments here. General Defcon Goat Ryla, shout out to him, says, great work you've done with the videos and lives on this fight. Many more to come. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed everything, all the content we put out there. And shout out to everybody who jumped on the panels, everybody who called in, because those guys made it entertaining and informative as well. So shout out to everybody. Maton says, Canelo said 150 and I'll find him tomorrow. Yeah, that's what he said. Quickslot says, will Boachuk avenge his loss? He should. I mean, when he fought La Bala Mendoza, he avoided eating those left hooks. And what left hooks he did eat, he managed to take him. So if Brandon Adams is banking on the same thing from the first fight and just landing one shot and ending the fight, he's got another thing coming. Hopefully Boachuk doesn't pull Beck the Bully and just sting the joint. I remember Beck the Bully when he rematched Rosado, who had knocked him out back in 2021. And then they rematched, and it was a boring affair. One of the most boring fights I've ever seen. Real Talk Combat says, yeah, I hate misrepresentation of information, especially when it's argued in bad faith. I'm on the same boat. People, because of the Canelo Benavidez saga, it earned us a lot of flack on this channel. Oh, you guys are Canelo fans. You guys are Canelo glazers, Canelo dick riders. I was just calling it the way I saw it. Back in 2016, 2015. Well, you guys didn't know me back then because I was on the message boards, but I was criticizing Canelo for not getting the Golovkin down right away. I didn't like his attitude when he tested positive and he was acting like a diva. And then, then later on, Canelo ended up providing the hair follicle test, which without a shadow of a doubt proved cleared him of any wrongdoing. But he beat up Archie Solis. So I've had my share of criticism of Canelo. So I'm not gonna go through the gauntlet of the times I've criticized Canelo. But it's just when I see something and I point out the way I see it, and people get angry over it, immediately they have to go with oh, you're a Canelo glazer. Same thing with Golovkin. I used to be a Golovkin fan when he was an active fighter, and people would write off, instead of addressing my arguments for a specific issue regarding Golovkin, what would I get in return? Oh, you're a Golovkin fanboy. So but then again, you can't get angry at that because that's the way the internet works. You're going to run into people who don't know how to argue properly, and they're just going to ad hominem attacks and, straw man attack, all the rhetorical fallacies out there. Windy City says his promoter is a weirdo. Well, if you're talking about Samson Lukowicz, you are correct. All right, so I wanted to get into this. Because somebody's talking about the weight cuts and all that. Let's get into it. I've been seeing it on Monday. We saw the photographs of Canelo and Crawford facing off against each other in front of that fountain over at what was it in Las Vegas? I don't know I don't know if it's Mandalay Bay or whatever, but one of those, right? And I showed the picture. And these guys were clothed, Canelo was wearing some sort of like a beige shirt. So beige sort of, whites and all that, it makes people look a little bit bigger, right? Crawford, on the other hand, was wearing black, which is usually a slimming color, or a color that people use to look slimmer, particularly if it's a striped clothing type of thing, of a motif. So that usually makes you look smaller. Crawford looked about the same size as Canelo, maybe even a little bit bigger. I don't know. So when I looked at that, I said, okay, this whole thing of Crawford being the smaller guy, it's starting to not cut the mustard. Something's going on here. So I want to show you what I'm talking about here. Just those pictures that we saw on Monday, because I talked about it on the Tuesday call-in show, and some people were still trying to debate about, no, Crawford is a much smaller guy. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. I think you guys are going to be surprised. Check this out. All right, obviously hold on, that's not it. My apologies, it's early in the morning. Hold on a second. Where's the picture? I know I had it. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is one of the pictures right here. You see them going head to head or face to face. Look at that. Now, of course, you got to keep in mind. Crawford was wearing some sneakers with thick soles, so he's gonna look a little taller as well. But he looked about the same size in terms of bulk. And again, it's difficult to ascertain. I understand because of the fact that they're wearing. He's wearing a hoodie. Crawford is. Here's the picture I was talking about, where you can see the sneakers with the thick soles. Hold on a second. There you go. But now let's take a look at the weigh-in. That's the one. That's the thing we got to look for here, because they finally had the weigh-in, and for a long time, what we were talking about ended up getting proven correctly. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at the. Let's take a look at the weigh-in. This is from yesterday. Hold on a second. There we go. By the way, they both weighed in at 167.5 at the weigh-in, and then this was a ceremonial weigh-in. So if anybody cut weight, then they looked a little. They should have been more replenished by the time they weighed in here at the ceremonial one, and so it gives you a good indication of, or as close as indication as we're gonna get until fight night, about how these guys are gonna look in the ring. So you see Canelo looking in fantastic shape. Crawford did as well. Then look at them facing off here. Look at that. I mean, does Crawford look like the smaller guy? The shoulder-wise, they look about the same. The arms look about the same. Maybe Canelo's a little thicker. Neck-wise, Canelo's always been hailed for his bulldog-like neck. By the way, is that the guy from who made Dilbert? The guy on the left? The creator of Dilbert. What's his name? Scott Adams? Or something Adams. That looks like him. Anyway, ADD. Back to the subject at hand. So yeah, so you look at the neck. Yeah, maybe Canelo does appear to have a thicker, maybe slightly thicker neck, but Crawford doesn't have a pencil neck, like Gonzalo said. Call him Adam Schiff. So they look about the same size. Yeah, if you want to give the edge to, to Canelo and say he's the bigger guy, okay, but not by that much. Guys, this isn't Mikey Garcia versus Earl Spence. This isn't Roy Jones versus John Luis. These guys are about the same size. And like I said on Tuesday, let's take a look at the evidence. Because again, we're all speculating, hey, maybe Canelo rehydrates by the time they fight tonight and he looks much bigger than Crawford it looks here between them right now, the image that we're looking on the screen. However, let's also take a look at the evidence that we've got, all right? We've got Terence Crawford weighing 177 pounds back in 2018, okay? That's from his own Instagram account. We've got Bomac coming out last week, or however long ago it was, maybe a week ago, saying he kept Crawford at 147, but that he should have moved Crawford at 168 a long time ago. We have Crawford saying himself that this fighting at 168 is not going to be a problem because the only thing he's going to be doing to get prepared more than anything else is simply not cutting weight anymore, or as he called it, not cutting muscle. So we got it straight from the horse's mouth. We've got his strength and conditioning trainer saying people are going to be surprised at how strong Crawford is and that he's actually going to try to back Canelo up. I think Bomac said something similar, right? So let's recap. We got Crawford weighing 177 pounds back in 2018 when he just moved to welterweight. We have Bomac and Crawford themselves saying they should have been at 168 a long time ago and that fighting at 168 is not going to be a problem. And now finally we have evidence here of Crawford looking jacked, looking ripped, looking tight. Look at that. Look at the torsos. Look at the upper body. Forget the upper body because that's what people look at the most. Look at the cores and the neck and the traps. This is Bud Canelo. This is Cronello. So when people when we were seeing them facing off here on Monday, people were still going with the whole Canelo thing, right? At that point, then they saw that, hey, man, there doesn't seem to be so much of a size discrepancy. Then the narrative changed from Crawford is a smaller guy to, well, he's gonna weigh they might weigh about the same. He might weigh 170 on fight night, but he's not acclimated to the weight. That's the narrative now. He's not acclimated to the weight. Well, whose fault is that? Because I just told you, Bomac, and if you didn't hear the clip in the past shows that we played them, we can play them again later on. Bomac said Crawford should have been at 168 a long time ago. So they were keeping themselves at 147, burning themselves out, boiling themselves to 147. So this whole thing of, well, he's not acclimated to the weight. Well, maybe he should have 2 years ago. But not, he didn't want to do that. Bomac said himself, we wanted to take advantage of the situation. And when I first heard that, by the way, when Bomac first said that, and even when Crawford posted that picture of him weighing 177 all the way back in 2018, part of me said, I was trying to speculate and say, well, maybe they're just, he doesn't really weigh 177, but he's trying to make people think, hey, I'm so big and I'm so strong. You know, sort of like psyching people out. And that may still be the case. But again, that's just speculation. That's why I offered up the evidence that we have. We have testimony from Bomac and Crawford saying 168, they should have been there a long time ago, and that fighting at that weight is not going to be a problem tonight. We have Crawford weighing 177 back in 2018, as up as 180 earlier this year. We have visual evidence now of how they're going to look tomorrow, because again, this was a ceremonial weigh-in, so they're a little bit more hydrated now. This was hours after the official weigh-in. And look at the size of Crawford. So if Canelo wins, I don't want to hear the excuse. We're going to hear it anyway, but I'm speaking rhetorically. It's going to be really ridiculous to come up with that excuse. If anybody comes up with that excuse, that reason, oh, but Crawford was a smaller guy, he dared to be great. He dared to be great. He stayed at 147 for a long time. And like I said, the Exodus Files just posted a video highlighting some of these shenanigans. So shout out to the Exodus Files. Let's just play this a little bit more. I'm going to try to find some pictures too of different angles. Look at this. Crawford looks jacked. Look at the torsos. They look about. He's got a thick core. Look at that. Maybe Canelo looks a little wider or deeper chest or whatever. Okay, they're about the same weight. This isn't John Luis versus Roy Jones. This isn't Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. Shit, even Kell Brook, when he looked like all muscled up against Golovkin. Golovkin still looked like the bigger guy. Canelo and Crawford, they're the same height. Crawford's got the reach advantage, and now we're seeing that the size is comparable in terms of weight. So if Canelo beats Crawford, it's not going to be because of the size. But again, don't expect people out there to say that or admit that. Just don't do it, because you will be disappointed. Just stick to your own lane. Do what you got to do. Make things happen in your life. Forget about what people say. Because not for nothing, but what we saw there, the whole political thing that happened earlier this week, you saw some people celebrating that. So you can't control how people react. All right? That's just and with the internet, you're going to get access to a whole bunch of opinions. You can't control what people say. You can only control how you react to it. So be a stoic, be in control of yourself, and always look forward with your chin up. Gabriel Sanchez says Turkey wants Crawford to win, or he might want him to get seriously hurt. I can't tell which. Well, yeah, people were speculating about that. People, part of me believes that Turkey and the American media want Crawford to win so that they can have that big American success journey story to talk about. That would create more fireworks than Canelo winning. But again, if Crawford wins, they're gonna go with the whole, this is historic. He moved up 2 weight classes against a bigger guy. I just showed you the evidence. Crawford is not. If he's the smaller guy, it's not by that much. But they're still gonna run with it if Crawford wins. So expect that to come to fruition. But somebody then was speculating in the show here in the chat a week ago that maybe Turkey wants to embarrass Crawford. And I go, why would he want to do that? I don't know. Somebody said that he wants to embarrass Andrew Ward and Kellerman, who were critical of him, and that's why he put them in the commentator booth, or ringside rather, as commentators, because he wants them to be embarrassed once Crawford loses. So I don't know. That was speculation from that person. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. At this point, we can only sit here and wonder. Green Reaper says, just makes you realize how good Canelo is. These welterweights are the same size as him. Absolutely. Dex says, TBF, Bud needs a decent size to get through a 400-pound woman. Yeah, man. I mean, the woman that he had a bunch of kids with, she's built like Jermaine Franklin, and he dumped her for another one, I believe. I think that's the rumor out there. JJ says Bud is fighting the smaller man. I don't know if I give credit to Bud if he KOs Canelo. You know what? Yeah, depending on how they look on fight night, if Crawford wins, he might not get that much credit from a lot of people, because he does look like. He looked a little bit. He looked the same size as Canelo, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little less. But we'll see. It wouldn't be surprised if once they actually face off in the middle of the ring during the pre-fight instructions, wouldn't be surprised if he actually looks a little bit bigger than Canelo. Blue Collar Sports says Turkey also wanted Fury to win if you believe what he said. Yeah, that's the other thing right there. All right, so the other thing I wanted to... Hey, fellas, don't forget to hit the like, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. It really helps us out. This is the BDA Morning Show. So shout out to everybody out there. Hit the like. It really helps us out. And hopefully, it's good to see that people are excited for this fight. Again, part of me is a little bit despondent or disappointed that this fight managed to get this much hype, because it just speaks volumes about how much we haven't had in the last 2 months. Again, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. 2021 was a fantastic year. There are a lot of upsets and it was a good rebound from the pandemic. 2022 was a little bit of a disappointment compared to 2021. Then 2023 came back with a bang. 2024, like I said, we got Beterbiev, Bivol, and Usyk versus Fury. Those were the fights on top of the billing for most of us on our wish list. And well, again, we've had a bunch of good fights this last 9 months as well. But we should be having more of these type of fights. Is what I'm trying to get at more often. And one can only wonder too. One of the big questions coming into this fight is, once Canelo retires, who's gonna take the mantle off as the face of boxing? Makes you wonder. Speaking of the business side of boxing, the weigh-in was held at an arena, and man, it was a sizable crowd just for the weigh-in. Check this out. Hold on a second. Check this out. I think they actually packed. I think they filled out the whole place just for the weigh-in. Look at that. So yeah, people are hyped up for this fight. Look at it. I mean, this is more than you get for a Teofimo Lopez fight. Way more, and this is just for a weigh-in. Now, of course, it's free. I think, right? I think the getting in there is free. I think you needed a ticket, I think, to get in. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure, but still, that's a lot of hype going into this fight. Speaking of hype, too, Dana White is offering up fight bonuses for the undercard boxers. I believe it's $100,000, from what I understand. So he's going to be offering up $100,000 for fight of the night. So I believe if for the participants who are in fight of the night, both of them get a bonus, and the fighter who gets performance of the night will also be receiving a bonus. He will be the beneficiary of a sizable financial reward. So that I think more promoters should do this. Incentivize these boxers to give it their all, because so many boxers, and by the way, that's the thing that really irked me with people who are talking about the Ali Act and Dana White and the Sheik, they want to get rid of the Ali Act. These are the type of people who worry too much about the boxers and not enough about us, the consumers. We get shit shoveled down our throats year after year. Finally, it's starting to change a little bit as we get some big major fights. And these people are complaining about, but the fighters, these same fighters who always talk down on us, the boxing fans, they're always dismissive. Oh, these fans, they're not going to take care of me when I get done fighting, so let me go get that paycheck. They're divas. They demand big money. They outprice themselves out of big fights because they ask for too much the goddamn money. And we're supposed to sit here and worry about them, about the Ali Act, which from what I understand, the Turkey and Dana White aren't even really going to destroy the thing, which wasn't even respected to begin with. So all this parading about it, all this crying about it, it seems to be ridiculous. And I saw that Sean Zittle thing when he went up to Dana White and asked the same question 3 times, but in 3 different ways. When Dana White refused to answer the first time, Zittle just changed the wording of the question. This dude isn't going to answer a complicated question like that. Dana White isn't going to answer your complicated question like that in a press conference where they're taking at most 45 seconds to a minute to answer the question. He expects Dana White to get into that, and the fact that he asked her 3 times, knowing he was going to negate the question 3 times in a row, it was just designed to make Dana White look bad and make himself look like the white knight for boxers. And indeed, I went on Twitter and I saw people, oh man, big ups for Sean Zittle. He's got balls of steel. Balls of steel. Why was Dana White going to send a couple of goons over to him and beat him up afterwards in an alley? The fuck out of here. Sean Zittle is on the Sean Porter podcast. He's trying to kickstart his own YouTube channel as well. So he's not expecting or relying on Dana White. This was all for him to get his face out there, and he succeeded in doing so. And now you're gonna see a lot of people thinking that this guy is some sort of champion for the fighters. But I just want people to know that we over here know what type of guy he is, and he seems to be in the same of the same ilk as Eli Segbach. Just another guy who doesn't really care how he comes off across, even if people see through his grandstanding. As long as he gets a little bit of clout off of that, that's all he cares about. And I'd heard, remember, Thunderdome said it. He said it live on the air. So I'm not telling tales out of school here. He said that when he started covering fights too, years ago, many years ago, Thunderdome would actually show up to the fights. He said that Sean Zittel would go around undermining him behind his back and telling people that Thunderdome was a racist. Racist against whom? He didn't specify. You know, people. Anytime somebody gets accused of racism, you have to assume they force you to assume that they're racist against Afro-Anglos for some reason. I mean, for some reason, apparently Afro-Anglos are the only people who suffer racism. But Sean Zittel, apparently that's what Thunderdome says he was doing to him, and Thunderdome says he called him out on it, and Zittel didn't reply. He just walked away. That's the type of guy he strikes me as a guy who, when he doesn't, he ambushed Dana White, but when things don't go his way and he gets caught off guard, he just walks away. Maybe that explains. Maybe I'm going too deep into psychology here, but maybe that's why he's got that shaggy haircut of his. He looks like he just combed his hair with a piece of toast. Maybe all that hair covering his face is because he's trying to cover his lies. I don't know. Maybe I'm going too deep into it, but I don't know. I just saw through. I saw right through his act, and I don't like it. Just like what was his name? Real Talk Combat was talking about. He hates misinformation and disinformation and people who throw that out in bad faith. That's what I hate too. I hate disingenuous people. I hate people who aren't genuine. I hate pretentious people. I really dislike that for some reason, and I don't know why, but it strikes me in bad taste when I meet these type of people, and that's how this dude strikes me as. All this grandstanding about the Ali Act. And I asked a question on the VC because we were watching the last press conference. We were watching it live on the VC. And I asked people, and now it wasn't a rhetorical question. I really wanted to know, did Sean Zittel ever call out the PBC? Because he used to work for the PBC. I don't know in which capacity. I don't know if he was really receiving a paycheck or if he was but he was on the telecast and some of the web video packages that they would do and put on Instagram and YouTube. Did he ever question Al Heyman acting as a manager, but technically he's still being a promoter, thus violating the Ali Act? And I asked people that on the VC, and people said no. We don't remember him ever criticizing for it. So I'm going to try to research that on the internet one of these days, see if he really kept the same energy. And listen, I just wanted to start off. Is Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh, are they dangerous for boxing? Maybe. Let's address that now. Let's address the actual argument, which is, are these guys really... Listen, maybe the Ali Act has been trampled on and spit on for years now, so... I don't know what difference it would make. All I know is the Turki Al-Sheikh and he's been making the fights that weren't happening before because, again, all these guys were overpricing themselves. Bivol and Beterbiev, according to Bob Arum, couldn't be made because there was little demand for it here in the States, but these guys wanted to get paid a certain amount of money, which was inconducive or incongruent. I don't even know if that's a real word. But in other words, there wasn't a demand for it based off the money that these guys were asking for. So these guys were asking for too much money when there was little demand for the fight. It wasn't going to generate money. And from a business standpoint, it wasn't going to make sense. So what does Turki Al-Sheikh do? He comes into boxing and he makes the fight happen. Not only once, but twice. Meanwhile, we've had these promoters on the scene for at least 25 years, right? Eddie Hearn has been around for, 15 years at the helm of Matchroom. Deloy has been at the helm of Golden Boy Promotions for since 2002, I want to say. And we've had boxing was business as usual for a long time. Big fights not getting made, fighters overpricing themselves. But all of a sudden, Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, they're going to make boxing worse. I don't see it. People can stick to the devil they know. I want to go with a new thing. The guys who have actually been offering us and making the fights. And I think I've seen memes on Twitter, people saying, oh, at least we're getting the fights, mocking fans who say that. I don't know. I think that the people who deserve a little bit more of mockery or deserve to be mocked more and more derision are the fans who are somehow afraid of Turki Al-Ashik and Dana White. Maybe they will make boxing worse. But we're at a point now in boxing where we need to switch something up. Because what we've been having for the past 25 years wasn't working out all that well. Again, I don't want to exaggerate as if we weren't getting the big fights, but it would take a lot of haggling and a lot of finagling and a lot of work just to get a couple of fights. So that's my take on that. What are people saying in the chat? I'm curious. Let's see. Seidelbaum says boxing seems to be fake anyway lately, even with Mayweather Tyson. Maton says UFC just lost a lawsuit and has to pay $385 million to former fighters. Michael Poe says, where's Jimmy at? And where's Recognized, aka Frank? Well, those guys don't really show up in the morning shows, and I know. I mean, the roster really got thinned out these last 3 weeks when we needed them the most. People, life happens. Recognized, I think he's working a different schedule, so he couldn't show up for the the evening shows. Jimmy, I don't even know if I spoke yet about why he hasn't been showing up. I mean, he's in good health, but he just had a couple of issues come up. So being on the show wasn't his top priority. Gonzalo, well, shout out to Gonzalo. Hopefully he gets better, but he's in a bad place right now. Showing up in less than stellar condition for a lot of streams where he's showing up. So we just the roster got thinned out just as the big fight was on the come up. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. We'll get him back for the next one. Nerd says Sean Zittel sees the writing on the wall, and with the arrival of Turkey, it marks the end of American domination in boxing. That's his grievance. No more slick style, overhype, and over-glorifying. You know what? That might have something to do with it. Because this dude was with the PBC. Before that, he was with Fight Hype. Those two platforms had a definite slant on them or to them. So maybe that could be it. I don't know. I can only speculate. I can only talk about what my intuition tells me about this Zittel character, and that is that he's just another one of these social media personalities that wants a lot of attention. He wants to be as big a channel as possible, as big a personality. He wants to be the authority on boxing and come on and get an audience and everyone gather around. It's me, the white knight for boxing. I defend the boxers. I'm a Puritan. And I remember one time I said that to somebody. I said, I don't want this channel, BDA Boxing. Sometimes I worry if it gets too big. And the person that I was telling this to laughed because they didn't believe me. They were skeptical of my intent and my feelings about it. And I'm more than genuine about it. When you get too big to a certain point, you get a lot of eyeballs on you. And not for nothing, I don't want to politicize this, but you see what happens with people who are very opinionated and who they put their face out there. And, sometimes there's crazy people out there and they're liable to do crazy type stuff. People also, I've seen it before all over the internet when people start fighting each other. Show me your face. Turn your camera on. Oh, you won't turn it on because you're scared. You got them right. I'm scared. I'm not in the USA. I live in Canada. We don't get to defend ourselves with guns over here. If you do defend yourself with a gun, you get in a whole bunch of trouble. So, here, if you break into my house and I attack you with a rolled up newspaper or some silly string, if I use some silly string on you or a rolled up newspaper or my tennis racket on you, I'm getting in trouble, believe it or not. So, I'm not going to show you my face. All you guys living in the United States, you got the stand your castle doctrine or whatever it's called. You can defend yourselves with guns. I can't. So I'm not going to be showing you my face. I'm not going to be telling you my real name. That's why I'm a very private person. Because you just never know. So, in other words, getting a channel that gets too big, it's a hassle too. Maybe as the channel grows every year, I'm going to be more and more comfortable with it because it's going to be gradual. But you see people who get famous overnight and they can't handle it. Crazy people like Wes Watson and the Liver King and all these people, they end up imploding because they can't handle what comes back at them from so many people. So, small doses, that's what we're building up to here at BDA Boxing. But if it remains a niche channel that gets us what we need, then that's all I'm happy with. But you never know. Well, let's see what happens. But like I said, that some people, they want to be the center of attention. They want to be they want to be on the telecast. They want to be on the zone. They want to be on Netflix. They want to be there with the microphone, smiling at the camera. But then do you lose a little bit of your independence doing that? That's a big question. Dex2024 says the Ashton Kutcher lookalike from the tribe whom use Afro-Anglos as their favorite golem. Oh, come on. I mean, there is a degree of truth to that, though. And I don't know if that dude is part of the tribe, though. Not that it matters either, but it is interesting. Michael Poe says, BDA put me down Canelo by decision in the 12th. Canelo by decision. I think he means Canelo decision in 12 rounds. Let me write it down here. And I need to take a sip of my black tea here because I'm starting to lose a little steam here, pontificating so much. I hate to pontificate, but and again, it's just my opinion, obviously, my thoughts on that, what occurred there. But Blue Collar Sports TV says, putting your face out there promotes idolatry. Yeah, that's another good point right there. It is a little bit, there's a little bit of an ego. And listen, let's not get it twisted. Me coming on here and all the panelists and everybody who jumps on here, us talking to an audience, there is a degree of narcissism to it. It's like, oh, hey, I'm so important that... But this show started because Bucho said, hey, we're knowledgeable about boxing. Let's create a show. And we created the show, and throughout the years, one of the best things about this show is entertaining the people. It's not necessarily about me and my opinion and, oh, it's a good opinion and look how I back up my opinion with facts. No, it's about entertaining the people at the end of the day. And if you guys get something out of this, whether it's getting you through the day, getting you through the work day, maybe you learn a little something here and there, that's the best thing. That is the best thing. And I've had people say, hey, man, your show, I was in a bad place in my life, blah, blah, blah. And the show, it's funny when you get all the gang together and you get a bunch of panelists together and it's funny, blah, blah, blah. And, it got me through this. I go, you know what? That is worth more than any super chat, any shout out from any famous person. No, it's about the people. Without the people, this show is nothing. All right, now let me write down the prediction here. Michael Poe says Canelo by decision. All right. 12-round decision. He's. What else? Michael Poe says, do you guys ever consider it might be a fake fight or an exhibition? Yeah, maybe. Anything's possible. We got to wait and see what happens. I can't tell you if it's going to be an exhibition until it happens. Let Me A says, BDA OG panel is the GOAT panel. BDA, Bucho, Jimmy, Stu, Recognize, and Gonzalo. Yeah, shout out to all those guys. Shout out to all those guys. It's a shame we couldn't get them all together for that. Maybe if Bucho does a open panel show, open lines show right after I'm done with the phone lines, then maybe those guys jump on. Because again, Recognize, he's become a night owl. Outlaw Boxing, shout out to Outlaw Boxing Club, says, BDA, I think I listened since Loma Rigondale. Yeah, well, that we were around for that one, that's for sure. Technically, we started, if anybody cares, we started in the Golovkin Jacobs fight. I think that was the first video I ever did. Might have been Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, though. I forget, but it was 2017, definitely. Dwayne Styles said, BDA put me down for Canelo UD. All right. I don't know if I already got your prediction down, but I'll write it down anyway. Dwayne Styles says Canelo UD. All right, now listen, I've been talking a lot here. I haven't even gone through, an hour already into the show, and I haven't even talked about some of the things that I wanted to get to. All right, so bonus for fight of the night and for performance of the night. All right. That's what the last thing I mentioned here. Now, Canelo was on CNN Espanol a couple of days ago, or last week rather. And this is good for you guys those of you who don't speak Spanish. I'm going to give you the rundown on some of the things that you might have missed that he said. And he talked about the Williams School fight. I want to get your thoughts on this. Because could this be a so-called excuse, or could there be something to it? Hold on, let me see here. This is from CNN Espanol. I got to go to the timestamp here, 3:26. They asked him about the school fight. Because, I mean, come on. Canelo, no matter which way you want to cut it, he didn't look good in that fight. He threw 152 shots. Those are paltry numbers even for him. So check out what he had to say.
Que te llevó a pelear en Arabia Saudita en mayo de este año. Háblame de cuán diferente fue eso para ti.
Fue muy...
Hold on, I'm trying to put the subtitles here in English so that I want to be translating, but no, there's no closed caption. By the way, did you guys see now there's a new feature where you can auto-dub your videos? So if you do a video in French or something or Russian and you want it to be English speakers to hear it, there's an auto-dubbing feature now. I mean, this fucking AI thing is I mean, it's technically not AI, but that type of technology. Anyway, The fuck am I talking about?
Diferente, fue una sensación muy diferente, ¿no? El pelear a las 6 de la mañana también, levantarme a las 3 de la mañana. Sientes que no sabes dónde estás, ¿no? Es muy desubicado, ¿no? Porque tu cuerpo es como que pues, tengo que dormir, ¿no? No sabes ni dónde estás. Fue una experiencia complicada en ese sentido.
All right, so they asked him about the school fight, and they asked him, how was it fighting at 3 in the morning? Because remember, that fight took place at 3 in the morning. He said it was a difficult experience because, of the jet lag. No, not jet lag, but the, whatchamacallit, the acclimatization to the sleeping cycle. It was all fucked up, fighting while tired. And when I heard this interview, I said, yeah, I mean, maybe that explains why. But then I thought about it and I said, well, wait a minute, William School too had to acclimatize himself to this weird-ass schedule. So it goes both ways. I mean, I still maintain it was a bad fight because of William School. My perception was that Canelo was doing the bare minimum to win. I would have liked for him to have gone for it and punish School for fighting in such a boring way in that back foot bitch style. Well, he chose not to. And again, Canelo, I've said it before, he's a front foot points fighter. At this point, he wants to hurt people. He wants to swell their arms up with his sledgehammers and all that. But he doesn't have the delivery system to get guys out of there. He's a little bit complacent, a little bit. But what do you guys think? Do you think that 3 in the morning thing might have had something to do with the performance from both guys? A horrible performance from both guys? Let me know. While I await your answers, Edgar Berlanga has weighed in, and he had this to say about the Canelo versus Crawford fight. Hold on a second. He says, I think Crawford just got to be Crawford. Show his IQ. Show him why he's a 2-time undisputed world champion and go in there with confidence. So there you go. That's the type of level of analysis that I expected from Berlanga. Crawford just got to be Crawford and show his IQ. Okay, well, what if his IQ isn't as good as you thought it was? I mean, people, this IQ thing, the IQ, the X factor, the mutant gene. Berlanga then went on to say, I got faith in him. I think Crawford can do it. I don't doubt him. Well, I got to tell you, faith is a good thing. I mean, what's his name? Victor. Oh, man, what was the guy who wrote? He was in a concentration camp. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name now. It's too early in the morning here. He was talking about the concept of faith and how faith was actually the difference between those who survived at the concentration camps and those who didn't have faith. Those who believed that, hey, I'm going to get through this, they survived. Whereas most of the time, those who just capitulated mentally ended up dying not long thereafter. Viktor Frankl, that was the guy's name, Viktor Frankl. That's what he said. So faith is a good thing, but there's a difference between being faithful and being delusional. And sometimes it is difficult to it's a fine line to ride. So, I don't know, but faith, I mean, that's what again, like Bucho was saying yesterday, that's what we hear a lot of these guys who are picking who are picking Crawford. A lot of the people with the Crawford thing, it's a lot of faith, it's a lot of the intangibles, the X factors, things that you cannot qualify or quantify. Quantify, things that you can't see, hence the intangibles. But then how do you measure something that's intangible in the first place? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, really, at the end of the day. Now, Callum Smith, maybe he missed the weigh-in, but he's still going with the concept that Canelo's just too big for Crawford. This is what he had to say. He said, it's a good fight, to be honest with you. Well, I'm glad he's being honest. I keep swapping and changing. Part of me sometimes thinks Canelo's not the fighter he was. He's still a very good fighter, but I do think he's on the slide a little bit, and maybe Crawford might be a little too fast and too slick. When I've seen him head-to-head, I just think Canelo's naturally that little bit too big. All right, okay, so there you go. So he said a little bit too big. So at least he's not going with he's too big. He's just a little bit too big. So he's acknowledging the fact that, and this was before the weigh-in, mind you, so maybe he's changed his mind now and come to the realization that there isn't that much of a size difference. Crawford, as good as Crawford is and what he's done at 154, and now he's skipping 160, I don't know. I think the size tells all as the fight goes on, he says. I think Crawford will have success early, but I think the natural size will play a part, and I'm going with Canelo, but I may change my mind in the next couple of days. All right, so he also ended up mentioning that the layoff from Crawford might be a good thing, but Callum Smith did say something interesting. He says, sometimes I had layoffs and I try to pump myself up like, the layoff isn't going to play a part in my performance. I feel great. And then come fight night, he does feels the effects of having been laid off for a while. So it is interesting. Crawford fighting once a year since 2020. It might end up catching up with him. I mean, listen, I remember Jimmy was the one who mentioned, hold on a second, putting a pair of socks on. Jimmy is the guy who mentioned when Gary Russell Jr. lost to Mike Sayo, what was it, 2023? I forget the year. I think it was 2023. That was a Gary Russell Jr. who was infamous for fighting once a year. What happened in the Mike Sayo fight? Here we go. What happened in the Mike Sayo fight? He ended up injuring himself mid-fight. And Jimmy came out on the following episode that we did, the post-fight show, he said the layoff probably had something to do with that, the inactivity. Because you can train and you can do all that, but once you actually get in the ring and you're going at 100%, you're redlining it, you're redlining your engine, the muscles, the tendons, they might not be conditioned to do what you're asking of them. And so we'll see with Crawford. Again, the rumor is that he was injured on the shoulder. He had some sort of shoulder injury. People said that it made sense because Turki Al-Sheikh actually wanted Crawford and Canelo in May, but that then Crawford was injured, and so that's why it didn't happen. So it seems like the shoulder injury thing might have some veracity to it. Then again, Crawford is saying that he's okay, so we'll see what happens. What else are people saying in the chat? Windy City says, ICE over here, man, mugging me. What the fuck? Yeah, ICE is coming for Windy City. Pugilism says, bully boxing pressure style, stand, slip, dip, frame, pin, peel, catch, counter. Okay, he's just throwing out a bunch of terms there. He sounds like a boxing pugilism. You sound like a boxing hipster. You're just throwing out a bunch of terms there. You forgot to say sidestep and two-step and framing and all that stuff. You forgot those terms. Triangle step. Shout out to Pancho Villa who says Crawford supporters don't wake up until the afternoon. Come on. Dex 2024 says what should be good fights within 3 to 4 hours where the slip fitting in okay, I don't know what the hell he's saying. Blue Collar Sports TV says saying he knows the effect of inactivity when Smith recently turned down a Benavidez fight to do nothing. Yeah, man, he should have taken a Benavidez fight. I think he would have had a good chance of beating Benavidez. I don't think he would have, but at this point Benavidez at 175 ain't the same Benavidez that he was at 168. Quantum Rob, shout out to Quantum Rob. I haven't heard from him in a while. He says they can't quantum the quantum. Nobody can quantum just like you can quantum. Nobody can quantum quite like you can. So, gotta give you your props right there. Round 1 says, where did the Crawford supporters go? Did they go change their tampons? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I was listening to IBFP yesterday, and somebody said that he tried to bet. There was a guy that was very confident Crawford was gonna win, and then he said, well, let's bet on it. And then the Crawford guy didn't want to. In fact, Washington, who's looking very closely at the odds on our Discord, he claims that the people who are setting the line and putting the big money, they're not doing so on Crawford. There's not that much confidence betting-wise on Crawford. Although yesterday he said a lot of people who usually don't place bets started placing bets on Crawford. But he says that the people who actually make a difference in the betting line are not putting their confidence on Crawford. So we'll see. We shall see. Your boy Neto Garcia says, are they showing the prelims on YouTube? Yeah, I think that's the plan. On the Netflix show, on the Netflix YouTube channel, I think on the WWE, UFC, and the some other channel, I believe, or YouTube channel. But yeah, listen, guys, I keep forgetting, this isn't pay-per-view. $10 for Netflix and you get to watch the fights. And they're good fights, man. Lester Martinez versus Mbili, Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. We'll talk about that on the VC, by the way. Speaking of the aforementioned Washington, Callum Walsh is the favorite, and he should be the favorite because he's just a little bit more seasoned than Fernando Vargas Jr. And I agree with that. I think Callum Walsh should win the fight. But hey, maybe Fernando Vargas Jr. powers up and shows a little bit more seasoning in this one. All right, what else did I have here? All right, so Berlanga is speaking Crawford. Callum Smith is speaking Canelo, but he's just doing it because of the size. He's not mentioning IQ or skills or anything in that regard. Ryan Rhodes, you might remember Ryan Rhodes as the British guy, switch hitter, who fought Canelo Alvarez back in 2011. I want to say. He just recently weighed in on this Canelo Crawford fight. He says, I think Terence Crawford will stand and trade with Canelo Alvarez. This is something that I've talked about, and in the video that I posted on Patreon, one of the videos rather, I explored that possibility that maybe Crawford is trying to throw people off for a loop, Canelo as well, obviously. Whereas everyone's always talking about, wow, he's going to have to box, he's going to have to box off the back foot. He might actually try to push Canelo back. So let's see what Ryan Rhodes had to say. He says, Crawford looks huge. He looks like a middleweight going to super middleweight. See, what we've been saying for a while now. I don't think looking at them, there's going to be much of a difference. And by the way, looking at the weigh-in, of course, there isn't that much of a difference. So Ryan Rhodes was correct. Crawford's always been a big welterweight. I spoke to Kel, I think he's talking about Kell Brook, about the fight when he boxed Crawford, and Kell's generally the bigger welterweight. When Kell boxed Crawford, he wasn't the bigger welterweight. Crawford is a big guy. He's taller. I get a mental picture of Crawford and Canelo on the scales, and there being no size difference. Well, you were correct, Ryan Rhodes, because there wasn't. They're going to be very, very similar in stature. And then he's talking about, I think he's talking about Canelo or Crawford. Let's see. He's heavy-handed. He's very accurate with his shots. He doesn't waste anything. He's one of them fighters, when he throws, he's landing no matter what. No matter where you are, no matter what shot, he's landing the backhands, the uppercuts. Backhands? Wait a minute. 3-4 shot combinations. He doesn't waste anything. He's so accurate with his shots. Not the biggest puncher that I've been in with, but definitely heavy-handed. Okay, so he's talking about Canelo. He's proved over the years that he's very difficult to beat. A couple of times, blah, blah, blah. I think Crawford, he said, finally, will stand and trade with Canelo, but I don't think he'll be stood. Oh, my goodness, what is this grammar? I don't think he'll be stood in front of Canelo constantly. I think he'll come in at angles, he'll try to outbox and outmaneuver and outcounter Canelo. All right, so what does that mean? He'll stand and trade, but I don't think he'll stand in front of Canelo. So okay, so from what I gather is he thinks he's not going to be back foot bitching it, but he's going to be showing angles, punching, and just turning Canelo, which makes sense because Crawford does have some very good pivots, some of the best pivots in boxing. So that might make sense right there. And then Rhodes finally said, one thing I'm not sure of is whether he's going to outbox him quite convincingly or nick a controversial points decision. I just favor Crawford to win this fight on points. I'm so intrigued. All right, so again, he's not going overboard with his prediction, Ryan Rhodes. Shout out to Ryan Rhodes, who's saying if Crawford wins, it might be by the hairs of his scrotum. So he's not saying he's going to school Canelo or whatever. Another fighter who weighed in, and this is from a good channel that I just recently found. It's a Mexican channel, I believe, where they interview a lot of Mexican boxers. It is called, what's it called? Hold on. It's loading up here. All right, for some reason it's not playing. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay, it's called El Clinch. El Clinch. There you go.
Hello, how are you, friends of the Clinch? It's a
and he's
pleasure
using
to
the auto-dub feature that I talked to you about. There you go. That's El Clinch. Go check him out. And they're talking with Johnny Gonzalez. And yeah, look at that, Johnny right there. It's not misspelled. That's actually how you spell his name. I don't know why they did this. I forget why. There was a story in Ring Magazine back in 2006. They explained why they named him Johnny with the J-H as opposed to J-O-H, but whatever. It was a good article. That's all I remember. So they're asking him to weigh in on Canelo Crawford, and this is what he had to say. Should I remove the auto dubs, or you guys wanna hear this with the auto dubs? You guys let me know. Well, I'll play with the auto dubs, and if people get tired of it, I'll remove them.
It also has to do with boxing. Canelo Alvarez's fight against Tanaise Crawford is coming up. You were a world champion in a few categories. You know what it's like to go up in weight. Let's say it's a gradual increase that you've been doing, but Crawford is going to do it in a big way, from 154 to 168 in one go. As a former boxer, a world champion, what risks could such an abrupt increase in weight without having a fight in between come with it? Well, you see...
Okay, Windy City says that's terrible. Okay, let me take the dubbing off, and I'll translate here.
Puede tener sus beneficios y también puede tener sus contras, ¿no? Los beneficios que puede tener es que él va a subir mucho más rápido en esa pelea, aunque haya subido de peso, pues la velocidad, pues espero que no logre perderla. Right, so he's saying Crawford is going up in weight a little too quickly, but the hope for him is then that he doesn't lose too much of his speed.
that he's able to retain some of those fast hands that he does have, even at 38 years old.
Que tiene, el manejo de piernas también que tiene, la inteligencia de poder manejar esos espacios Crawford arriba del ring, pues yo creo que son sus mejores armas, ¿no? En las contras, pues la pegada. Esperemos que la pegada, pues sabemos que le va a disminuir por el simple hecho de subir de peso. Canelo se va a mantener. En la rehidratación, recuperación, Canelo todavía va a subir más fuerte. Porque
All right, so he thinks Canelo will rehydrate and be stronger. What else did he say? Hold on, because I was reading the chat at the same time.
en las contras, pues la pegada. Esperemos que la pegada, pues sabemos que le va a disminuir por el simple hecho de subir de peso. Canelo se va a mantener. En la rehidratación, recuperación, Canelo todavía va a subir más fuerte, porque pues él es un peso en el que está bajando para poder subir más. Crawford está bajando y yo creo que es hasta lo que va a llegar a pesar máximo. Entonces la pegada de Canelo va a ser vital para esta pelea. Yo creo que
So you're saying Canelo's punching power will be a vital key element of the fight.
Crawford va a salir los primeros rounds a tratar de boxear, a tratar de que no lo acorralen, de que no le peguen, pero conforme vayan pasando los rounds, pues Canelo lo va a ir agarrando, lo va a ir.
All right, so he's saying that he expects it to be a tactical boxing match early on, but as Canelo starts connecting with the stronger blows, that's when the fight is going to change. That's according to Johnny Gonzalez.
Pescando, le va a ir conectando los golpes fuertes y yo creo que la pelea va a ser interesante en los primeros rounds, pero Canelo va a terminar ganando esta pelea.
La calidad de Crawford creo que no está
All right, so he's saying Canelo eventually will win the fight.
en discusión, doble campeón indiscutido y todo eso. Por ahí muchos, como lo acabas de mencionar, puede ganar unas cosas, pero va a perder otras, ¿no? Va a terminar mermándose. Y al final, como dice el argot boxístico, un peso chico es muy difícil que le gane un peso grande.
Así es, como bien lo mencionas, pero este peso chico ya ha sido campeón indiscutido, ¿no? También eso hay que darle su mérito, hay que darle su valor.
Okay, so he's saying Crawford, you got to give him credit because he's not just any old fighter moving up in weight. He's a four division world champion. So you got to give him his credit, he said.
Y más que nada, pues, de que se está arriesgando, no contra cualquier peleador, ¿no? Sino contra Canelo, el mejor representante que hay hasta el momento aquí a nivel mundial y de todos los mexicanos, porque pues hasta el momento pues no hay otro, ¿no? Mexicano que pueda llegar a donde está Canelo ahorita, y pues la verdad que pues como mexicano pues estamos con Canelo apoyándolo al 100%.
All right, so he's just saying that right now there's no other Mexican that can get to the pound for pound position of Canelo, or I don't know if he meant that as the star position. So, but he's going for Canelo, and he's also supporting Canelo. So that's Johnny Gonzalez's point of view over at El Clinch. By the way, I think I saw on El Clinch too, they also asked other Mexicans. I think Miguel Berchelt was also asked about this fight, but I didn't see that one. Oh, what the fuck? All right. So anyway, what else was I going to talk to you about here? Hold on a second. This thing is slow. YouTube is slow for me for some reason here. People picking Crawford. Okay, I got that list here. I got the list of your picks. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. All right, so yeah, this is the other thing. I mentioned this on Monday's show, but I think it bears repeating. Canelo was, again, a lot of people in the beginning of this fight, after the school fight, a lot of people started picking Crawford. And when you hear them picking Crawford, it's because he's special. He's got the superior ring IQ. He's got that X factor. Then as the fight started nearing, particularly after it was revealed that Canelo was sparring Jaron Ennis, all of a sudden people started changing their tune and saying, "Oh, you know, I don't know anymore." For some reason, that sparring session really changed people's minds. And Roy Jones, I really respect his intellect as it pertains to boxing, because, like I said, when he was an analyst for HBO, he would predict, I think this is going to happen during the fight. I think, judging how this fighter's acting, blah, 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 this is going to happen, and then it would happen. But lately, I don't think he's focusing too much on watching boxing, so I think he might be out of the loop for some of these fights, because when they asked him about 3 or 4 weeks ago about Canelo Crawford, he said, well, Canelo has one way to win. Crawford's got 6 ways to win. So I'm going with the guy who's got 6 ways to win. But then he didn't even explain what those 6 ways were. So he just left you scratching your head, wondering, well, what are those 6 ways, Roy? I mean, could you maybe let us in on the secret? But so essentially, the implication was that Crawford is just that much superior to Canelo. But then, a couple of days ago, Roy Jones sort of seemed to change his opinion. Check this out.
Next week. It is an intriguing matchup, and you're pretty well placed to tell us how you see it going. So how do you see this one turning out?
Man, I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings, and emotionally, I'm very happy that the fight is happening because it's a great fight for both fighters. Initially, I thought maybe Canelo didn't have the hunger to go out there and really try to keep Bud off him or try to go at Bud, When I heard he had Jerron Ennis in camp, it made me realize that he really is trying to prepare for Bud because Jerron Ennis is probably the only other person that can really logically and realistically fight left-handed or right-handed, which is what he's going to see from Bud. That lets me know that Canelo's taking it serious. If Canelo's taking it serious, it's going to be a much harder fight for Bud than I anticipated.
So, again, he said, 3 weeks ago, he said Crawford's got 6 ways to win. Now it's a closer fight because Canelo's taking it seriously. So I mean, did Roy Jones, he never mentioned anything about seriousness, as far as I know, when he mentioned the 6-1 thing. So I don't know, this whole thing about that sparring session against Boots Ennis. And by the way, again, like I want to remind people, the reports are that Canelo did get the best of Boots Ennis. But Boots Ennis is a different fighter from Crawford. He doesn't control the distance as well as Crawford does. He doesn't have the experience, obviously, that Crawford does. So, and again, it was just sparring. Even though it might have been hard sparring, these guys were probably going at it. And again, Jerron Ennis, he's a super middleweight. He's like Crawford. He's another guy who super middleweight hiding down at welterweight. So maybe they did go at it very hard. But the point is, different fighters. But for Roy Jones to change his pick or doubt his pick because of that, I don't know. That's what I find a little perturbing, and I'm flummoxed by that, to be honest. That's what I'm thinking here. Same thing with Robert Garcia, another guy, world-class trainer. But you got to wonder how many fights he actually watches from each guy, because initially he picked Terence Crawford to win. Terence Crawford, I didn't like the way Canelo looked against School, and I think Crawford's just the better boxer. And then check this out. This is from a couple of days ago. Robert Garcia, Canelo sparring with Boots gives him great edge versus Crawford. I think that was a great move to bring Boots into camp. The choice means that Canelo wants to be in the best shape of his life. It's a big plus. I give Canelo an even bigger edge now because of the kind of training I'm sure he's going through. So now he's giving Canelo an even bigger edge, but he'd actually picked Crawford before. So you can't say you're giving him a bigger edge now. Now, essentially, what you're saying is you're switching your pick to Canelo. Boots is the closest thing to Crawford when it comes to style and speed, all the way down to body size. Boots is perfect preparation for Canelo. Again, I don't even really think that much similar. I mean, yeah, they do a little bit of switch hitting, which, again, both guys are kind of overrated with the switch hitting. Crawford and Canelo and Boots, by the way, Crawford is listed as 5'8", maybe, let's say 5'9". Ennis is 5'11". And again, he's not as seasoned as Crawford. So, yeah, there's some similarities, but I think people are pumping up this sparring a little bit too much. So there you go. Again, this sparring session really seemed to have changed a lot of people's minds as it pertains to whom they're picking for the fight. I tell you what, though, Clarissa Shields, of course, we know who she's going for. She's going for her friend, Crawford. But her prediction didn't really come out the perfect way. And I understand why, because Canelo, Crawford, they're both with C's. So I think people should just sort of trip over themselves when they give their predictions. But let's see what old Clarissa Shields had to say about this fight. Honestly, she said.
Honestly, I feel like Canelo has he shows up when he wants to show up, but I think that Terence Crawford is a dog. I think that he's a great fighter. He has good defense, good offense. The weight class may be a little challenging, but I don't think it'll be the decision maker of the fight. I think that Terence Crawford is the better fighter, but I think that Canelo is like a legend. So I look forward to seeing the fight, and I'm going to pick Canelo. Blah, blah. I'm going to pick Terence Crawford. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Terence Crawford to win. I'm going to pick Canelo. And I'm going to pick Canelo. And I'm going to pick Canelo. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to pick Terence Crawford. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Terence Crawford to win. I'm thinking about all this stuff. No, Terence Crawford to win. It's going to be It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough. But I think that I know that Terrence, he adapts. So if he loses the first 2 or 3 rounds, everybody.
So you see, again, that's most of the people who are picking Crawford, particularly his close circle of friends, they're always talking about, well, he can, I know he can pull it off, but they don't tell you how. They just tell you he's got that dog. And she said it herself, by the way. She said she had to bring in the dog thing. You know, people think we're kidding around with the whole dog thing. No, it's a real phenomenon of people picking fighters because of that dog.
I'm a dog. I'm moving different.
You know, people just move different. He's him. He's got that dog. So yeah, it's a lot of things that they're not really breaking down the fight. He's got that dog. I know he can pull it off. He adapts to everything. So there you go. So he's unbeatable because he adapts to everything. What else we got here? So that's Clarissa Shields making her prediction. And again, people say, oh, she Freudian slip. She let it slip. I don't know. Canelo, Crawford. I understand why people are sort of tripping over themselves. I gotta tell you, another guy that I'm a little bit miffed right now. You know, I'm in a combative mood. Maybe because it's fight night. But Max Kellerman is another guy that I saw some people on Twitter going, "Oh yes, Max Kellerman is back." I would have rather have had Jim Lampley, Antonio Tarver, and even Coppinger. I can do with Coppinger, even though I would have preferred somebody else. But I could have done with Coppinger. The crew that they had for the City of Wolves card a couple of months ago, I like them. Tarver and Jim Lampley, they called it how they saw it. And Jim Lampley is a seasoned veteran. This dude is a world-class pro, and I am saddened that they're not going to have him. Instead, they're going to have, who is it? Andrew Ward, Kellerman, and I forget who the other guy is. I think it's a WWE guy. So you're sure to hear, if something dramatic happens, you're sure to hear this guy scream. Or even if something non-dramatic happens, he's going to be screaming his lungs out either way. Like, come on. That's what they do. Oh my God! I mean, come on! That's straight from the UFC playbook. These dudes just screaming, like they're creaming in their panties, because that's what they tell them. That's what they think they have to do. That's what the producers in the truck tell them. You gotta pump up the crowd. No, you don't. It's like Jim Lampley said that on Joe Rogan and on the 3 knockdown rule. You gotta be a little subdued, a little controlled. Because that way, when something really truly dramatic happens, that's when you can let it loose and it's significant. But if you're screaming every other fight, oh my God, then it's like, come on, you sound like a woman. Yeah, it's like, it reminds me in the industry. Same thing in the industry. People will try to ham it up. They put on this big act because they want. And then when the internet came along, this was after my time, by the way, but I noticed that people started trying to act out, and women and men, to try to go viral and try to get more gigs that way. And it doesn't work. You look unprofessional. People like us in the industry, the old heads, as they used to call us, we look down on that type of stuff. I mean, come on. Just a bunch of nonsense, man, let me tell you. What's going on here? What is this? I mean, that's how they sound. It's not that far-fetched. That's how they sound.
I'm gonna come.
Okay, come on. All right. But anyway, yeah, that's how these guys sound, and I don't like it. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, Max Kellerman is back, and not only is he going to be ringside calling the fight, but he's also going to be, he was also acting as the MC for the festivities, for the weigh-in, the press conference, and all that. And this dude he would show up with way more confidence than he should have, as if the people are out there to watch him. It's like, how you guys doing? And then he keeps going with the whole thing of, I don't think you guys understand how big this fight is. This dude is always going on and on about trying to give you the historical background for all these fights. And you know what? He used to be a member of Ring 8. Ring 8 was this organization that would pull off, they would raise money for retired fighters, which was a good cause. And they would have these meetings and these weekly luncheons and all that. And Max Kellerman apparently would always show up there and start debating people about boxing history. So he's a nerd. He's a bit of a jackass. I'm not the biggest fan of Max Kellerman. And then on top of that, he had to show up at the weigh-in. I don't know why Turkey Al-Sheikh feels compelled to. Here's the other thing, though. Max Kellerman, and I remember when we first started this show, I brought up the fact that Max Kellerman used to be over at ESPN, right? Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then he moved on to Fox Sports, whose boxing coverage was pretty slim. So I don't understand why he moved on over there. And then from there, he jumps to HBO, the biggest platform possible. And I mentioned that. And I said, isn't it interesting how he... Oh, and then when HBO went down under, he manages to end up on ESPN again. So this guy always manages to end up on his feet. And he's not even that good. I don't think he's that good. And Jimmy said, well, the reason why he always ends up having a job is because apparently he's got a big-time Hollywood agent. And I said, that makes sense. So maybe that big-time agent got him the Turkey gig. Because he makes no sense. He's not that good. For him to be getting precedence over Jim Lampley and other guys, it has to be because of his connections. So he shows up, and he was lapping up Dana White, man. Dana White and the Sheik, and he did it again yesterday. 2 days ago. Because in the first couple of press conferences, he was just going on and on about how you guys don't understand Turkey al-Sheik and Dana White, and he starts going on a soliloquy. Max, I got news for you. Nobody paid to see you here. Or maybe if they didn't, whatever, whether they paid or not, nobody showed up to see you and hear your fucking weird ass talking about the historical background for this fight and licking Dana White's ass. All right? I mean, this guy really, he opened up Dana White's ass cheeks and really let it rip. So let's have a gander of what he was saying. Hold on, that's not it. Here we go.
Really popular, that's because of Dana White. He built something like the NBA. Stop now, because he's about to do it for boxing again. For boxing now. You want an NBA or...
Since when does somebody show up to a press conference and start giving out and outlining the promoter's resume, the dossier? You know, Bob Arum, he's the same guy that promoted, the Ali blah 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 fight, Hagler Hearns, De La Hoya Trinidad. He's maybe they would mention that in passing, but this guy was going on and on. Like, you can tell he's, Max Kellerman, you can get off your knees now. Dana White and Turkey al-Sheik, they're going to give you your next gig. Don't worry about it. It's secure. It's unbelievable that a grown man, could get on his knees in front of so many people and tongue that asshole. It really is amazing. Let's listen to this again.
Really popular, that's because of Dana White. He built something like the NBA. Stop now, because he's about to do it for boxing again. For boxing now. You want an NBA or an NFL in boxing? Here it comes. Because he knows how to build an institution. And how do you do that?
Hey Max. Boxing is always bigger and big. Don't say boxing is not big enough. Boxing is big.
So even Canelo had enough of these dudes. Like, man, why don't you shut the... That was his way of saying, why don't you shut your mouth, man? And look at Kellerman. Well, you can't see it because it's sort of low definition, but Kellerman was really... I mean, like somebody... Who's saying that in the chat? Hold on. Mr. Pelavaca says gay, Max. That's his name, yeah. Casamigos says, what a sword soloer. Casamigos says, rumor has it Kellerman doesn't have a gag reflex. No, that's another dude. He doesn't care how he looks as long as he's getting a paycheck. I mean, this was unbelievable. This guy knows how to build an institution. People didn't show up to listen to you praise Dana White. It's unbelievable. How far gone this guy's gone.
Oh, you gonna put the nuts in your mouth too? That's double bonus money.
That's the thing. Kellerman didn't just deep throat it; he put the nuts in the mouth. I mean, this guy really went for it. That's how he was trying to make Dana White sound. It's like, was that good? Was that as good for you as it was for me, Dana? Was it good? Was it good for you? I was like, fuck, man. This is the guy. No wonder he always gets a job. Kellerman does. He sucks dick. I mean, my good. See, that's the thing, though. That's the question you guys have to answer yourselves. Ask yourselves. How far do you want to go to get a little clout, to be on TV? To be there in front of all these people with the microphone and sharing the stage with professional boxers and being the guy that everyone's listening to. How far are you willing to go? Would you be willing to do what Kellerman just did, what we just saw? But by the way, I think that somebody just sent me this. I don't know if this is true. You got to take it with a grain of salt. This is the meeting that Kellerman had with Dana White and Turkey al-Sheik. Wouldn't surprise me. Again, it's just a little snippet, but you never know, man. You never know.
You're mine now, so I'll let you go. You are mine. You are my meat. You're my possession.
I mean, I gotta tell you, that sounds. If you read between the lines, it sounds like there's some sort of like a sexual deal going on there. But anyway, let's continue listening to this.
You know how big is boxing.
Should it get bigger, yes or no? Should it get bigger, Canelo?
Yeah, maybe it's gonna be bigger, but look, boxing is always big and big and bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's what they say about me, by the way. BDA, he's big, 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 and he's getting bigger. Can't believe he's getting bigger. Look at that. That's got to be 10 inches at least.
We need to talk about that.
By the way, why it's not dudes saying that, by the way. It's not other dudes saying that. Let's not get it twisted. Come on.
Boxing is boxing.
I love Canelo in English, by the way. I love
Boxing
it.
is boxing.
See, Max Kellerman didn't have anything to say anymore. I love Canelo in English. You love a lot of things, Kellerman, that we can see that.
Lies.
No comparison.
How do you do it?
There.
Even Crawford and Canelo, they're about to fight and they're in agreement. It's like, yeah, no lies there. Now, of course, listen, let's not get it twisted. UFC, I do think it's a little bit more well-known now, more mainstream than boxing. But when you get a mega fight, like or the one we're getting tomorrow, I don't see too many of those in the UFC right now.
So how do you do it? You have someone like...
My respect for all of their sport. Great job, everything, but boxing is boxing.
You have someone like Turkey Al-Sheikh. You have someone like Dana White. And then you go out and get the most competent executive there is. That's Nick Khan. WWE's own Nick Khan. Guys, this is who's bringing you the event.
Look at this. Why was
This event will be the most watched boxing match. I mean, championship level boxing.
We know people are going to be watching this. Again, this guy's just trying to drive the point home, and it's already been driven home. So now it's going away because you're driving it so far up that it's going the other way. And, look, listen, I said it before when we were talking about the Ali Act and all that. It's like the devil, do you stick with the devil you know, or do you try to go with a different outfit here, which is Dana White, Turkey Al-Sheikh? And that's it. That's all I mentioned. Is as long as these dudes give us what we want, and then they still pay the fighters as a decent fee, that's all I care about. I'm tired of these fighters getting overpaid, but I'm not gonna glaze Dana White and Turkey Al-Sheikh either. Now, if they put on mega fight after mega fight after mega fight, then hey, maybe Mr. BDA will have something to say about that. Maybe Mr. BDA will be more. And why is Mr. BDA talking in the third person? Well, it's because early in the morning. But maybe I'll give him a little bit more praise than I'm accustomed to giving. But Kellerman, the way he's going on and on. So listen, just to let you know that I'm not crazy. I'm not the only one who was shocked or miffed by Kellerman's performance, because it was a performance. Don't get it twisted. A guy who is a peer of Kellerman's, who for years was what Kellerman was to HBO, but this time to Showtime, and that is Al Bernstein, the one and only Al Bernstein. This is what he had to say about Kellerman, although he didn't name him in this tweet. Check out what Al Bernstein had to say. He said, okay, I'm sorry. I've been a boxing broadcaster for 45 years. I have hosted press conferences for promoters and networks and presented a positive, within reasonable limits, demeanor about the event itself, especially when warranted. I have never thought of being a carnival barker on behalf of the people running the event. This skews the role of someone announcing an event. I'm not commenting on the veracity of what was said. Others can do that. I'm simply saying this is a bit awkward from my standpoint. I mean, listen, Al Bernstein said it better than I did. I was here rambling and playing a bunch of sound bites, but Bernstein really eloquently stated it. It is a bizarre sight to see Max Kellerman, who's going to be one of the he's going to be the color commentator, I believe. That's the term they call it, for the fight. And here he is, carnival barker. That was a perfect term there from Al Bernstein. This dude is there on top of a soapbox. Might as well be, he wouldn't be out of place in a carnival telling you, hey, come on right in. We got the three-headed lady and the strong man and, the pig boy or vampire boy or, the seal man. I mean, he would have fit right in there. Max Kellerman has no shame. That's what I'm starting to get at. People who have no shame in the boxing industry. Ellie Seckbach, Max Kellerman, Jean Seidel. These are guys who just want clout and they don't care how they get it. And a lot of people don't see it. A lot of people buy it. Because again, some of these dudes, they know how to do it perfectly. So that was Kellerman and Dana White. Al Bernstein. switching gears a little bit here, and Billy, because that's we haven't even talked about the undercard too much, but Mbili says that the Martinez bout is sure to be the hardest or most difficult fight of his career. This is what he had to say. Hold on a second. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Really helps us out. Discord news. Okay, here we go. So Christian Mbili says matchup with Lester Martinez has fight of the year potential. We have watched a lot of his fights in training camp, and Billy said. He's a very good boxer, very good explosivity, good precision. He has very good conditioning, and I think it will be a very good fight. Maybe it will be fight of the year. So you can see Billy's anticipating that type of pace, which he always sets, by the way, but I think he's expecting harder punches coming back than he's accustomed to. He has a good right hand, a good hook too, and Billy said. He's very fast, very quick. Same thing they say about Mr. BDA. I think he's a very good fighter. He's not a very famous, but he's very dangerous. I have to be careful. I think this guy is the biggest prospect right now in the division, but I think I'm better than him. Well, keep in mind, by the way, Martinez is considered a prospect. He's 28 years old, by the way. He's not a 23-year-old kid, so time is the clock is ticking for both guys. And Billy, too, I think he's 28 or 29, so the winner of this fight is sure to get a little bit more clout, move up the rankings, maybe work their way up to a Canelo fight if Canelo is still in the boxing business within the next 2 years. But I gotta tell you, Martinez, he's got some deception to his game. He knows how to feint. He knows how to punch with either hand. He can lead with a left hook, and then when you least expect it, he'll come in with a 1-2. So I talked to Washington. He said Martinez is the favorite in this fight. Or at least I think he said he's picking Martinez too, and I gotta agree with him. Would I be surprised if Billy pulls it off? No, because he does set quite a pace. But Martinez's straighter shots and heavy hands could land quicker than in Billy's wider hooks. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm very intrigued for that fight. Can't come soon enough. Let's go to see what people are saying in the chat. Maton says, BS. You already said that Canelo should have been fighting Benavidez. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk Up North says, and Billy is the favorite. Okay, he's the favorite in the oddwise, I believe. I got Lester Martinez by a little bit. I think he's gonna, I don't know, something, my gut instinct, and usually my gut instinct is correct. Then I start over-analyzing things, and I start suffering from pugilistic schizophrenia. But my gut feeling is Martinez is gonna probably stop Mbili. But Mbili, he just has so much tenacity to him. Even when Gongora hurt him, this dude just didn't get tired and just kept on plugging away. So fighting a guy like that is obviously, I don't have to tell you guys, it's very difficult. So I don't know. Casamigo says Kellerman's carnival act is the amazing brown-nosing twink. Yeah, I mean, this dude. Real Talk Combat says Crawford has WBO super status, allowing him to be the immediate mandatory in another division. That's why he's able to skip this whole line. That makes sense. Again, see, that's why when TKO and Dana White are coming along, and they might be getting rid a little bit or take away a little bit of power from the sanctioning bodies, it's precisely because of BS like that. WBO super status, WBO superheroes mutant status. I mean, come on. It's all about the money for these people. And somehow we're supposed to be afraid that Dana White and TKO are going to get... I was a little bit perturbed when the PBC was going to do that. But in hindsight, maybe they should have. Because these fucking alphabet organizations have been vampires and they've been leeching off the fighters. And yeah, they do play a part in hyping up fights because a lot of casuals, they look at the marquee and they look at, world championship fight. And they don't know any better. So it does help sell the fight. And by proxy, it helps raise the financial rewards for the fighters. But overall, there's a lot of bad too. Windy City says, I'm all for real fighters getting paid big bucks. Absolutely. All right, so that's what people are saying. Buddy Love says too many belts in boxing. Absolutely. Listen, I stopped paying attention to the belts when the WBA came up with the super designation. That was in 2002, I believe. And Ring Magazine took a stand and they said, well, screw it. We're bringing back the Ring Magazine title and we're ignoring all these other titles. And then De La Hoya bought Ring Magazine and right back they went to paying attention to these titles. What else we got here? got a lot to get to here, fellas, and we've already been over 2 hours here. So, boxing scene says TKO is freezing out the sanctioning bodies, and that's because of what Mauricio Suleiman said. I don't know if you guys heard. I think Bucho mentioned this yesterday. Most of you have probably already seen it, but if you didn't, let me play you this clip of Suleiman claiming that they're not gonna let him into the ring. And I don't know, my audio keeps crackling here. Hold on a second. This is what Suleiman had to say. Hold on a second. This is from ProBox Español. All right, hold on a second. All right, why the big long intro here? When did he say that? 1 minute, 8 seconds. Here we go. Hold on. All right, so this is Mauricio Suleiman, president of the WBC, being displeased by the fact that he might not be allowed, his fat ass might not be allowed in the ring after the main event.
Canelo Crawford. Y resulta que el promotor es la UFC. Como presidente del Consejo Mundial de Boxeo, están diciendo que yo no me puedo subir al ring. Entonces, ¿quién le va a poner el cinturón al ganador?
Listen, he's saying, if I'm not up there with the belt in the ring, who's going to put the belt around the winner? It's like, fucker, anybody. How about, here's the answer, Suleiman, fat ass. Anybody. Anybody other than your fat ass. How about that? That's the answer.
Con que tengas 2 o 3 de seguridad ahí en la esquina, fortachones para que me saquen, porque yo me voy a subir al ring.
Fortachones para que me saquen. This dude, in other words, what he's saying is, no matter, he said, you can have 3 security guards, 3 buffed up security guards, and they're not going to stop me. First of all, yes, they will. Probably just by staring you down. Or maybe he's crazy enough that he tries to get his fat ass into the ring just to create a scene, like Sean Zittel did a couple of days ago with his grandstanding. Maybe he tries to do that. But I don't think so. I think this is just him bitching and moaning that he's not getting the same privilege that he's been accustomed to for the past couple of years. So he's saying he's going to get in there. Oh, and then he had this to say. Hold on, let me find that boxing scene article. Then he said, you know, I don't understand why they want to keep us out. We've done our part. We came up with a special belt. We're helping the promotion. How are you helping the promotion? By coming up with a belt. So are you telling me people out there who might not want to watch this fight or who were on the fence about watching this fight, now all of a sudden they're going to see this stupid Oaxaca belt and they're going to go, oh shit, there's a Oaxaca belt on? Okay, now I'm going to watch the fight. Shit. Nobody gives, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Very few people give a shit about this commemorative belt, this special belt. And like again, I've been saying it for years. I don't give a shit about the belts anymore. It's been 22 years, not 23 now, going on 23 years since I stopped. If you ask me, BDA, who's the WBA champ in the lightweight division? I don't know, and I don't care. I go by the Ring Magazine rankings or the ESPN rankings or the transnational rankings. I don't pay attention to what the WBO says, the WBA, the IBA, the NABF. Screw them. And more people should join my train of thought here. Hold on a second. And then you should start praising me, like Max Kellerman praises Dana White. BDA has been doing this for 23 years. I don't think you guys understand. And then someone's going to come in and rain on my parade. Nah. Boxing is bigger than BDA, which is false, by the way. All right, so here's the article. Here's Suleiman said, how can you expect the best fighters in the world to compete for a championship when the rules are not respected and the official representatives are denied? How are the rules not being respected? Because the president is supposed to be there and put the belt around the guy? Is that what he's getting? The fact that the belts are being contested and cannot be represented, it's in the rules and regulations. It's in the contracts. It's common practice worldwide. Well, just because it's common practice doesn't mean it should be. There's just because something is doesn't mean it ought to be. And yeah, that's when he said, you can have 2 security guards in the corner trying to take me out because I will enter that ring. No, you won't. Me pueden poner a 2 fortachones y yo voy a entrar al ring como quiera. No, you won't. No, you won't. This dude is desperate for attention. And you know what? They're probably shaking in their boots. Because if something does happen to these organizations, they're supposed to be non-profit organizations, by the way. But they somehow end up making money. And they fill their pockets. So, allegedly. So, these dudes, if people stop respecting these organizations, what are they going to do? What's going to be plan B? So their survival depends on them being seen, being in the ring, people mentioning the titles, and I don't care about it. I don't care. If Teofimo Lopez has no belts when he fights Shakur Stevenson, I don't care. It doesn't lessen the fight for me. It's still the champ, the main guy at 140 pounds, taking on a very tough contender. These fucking people with the belts. That's why I hate when people go, oh, this dude was a champ, and Tank Davis defeated 5 champions and 3 division world champion. Just because you get a belt doesn't make you a champion. All right? Not when there's 4 belts running around and 2 different designations for 2 of those belts. So in any one division, you may have 6 people running around calling themselves champions. It is disgusting. It's outrageous. It's unconscionable. And I dare say unconstitutional. And unchristian as well. What else? You know what? I'm getting a little tired here. I still have a lot to say, but I'm not going to end the show because, like I said, it's a special Monday morning episode on the morning of the fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up StreamYard, see if anybody wants to jump on. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. I'm not going to up the phone lines because the phone lines do cost money. The phone lines cost money, and I don't want to. We're probably going to be doing. That's the plan, though. Anyway, after the fight, we're going to be doing a a post-fight calling show. So I don't want to spend too much of the phone line time that we have. So I'm going to open up the StreamYard. I'm going to see if people want to jump on. For some reason, when I write StreamYard now, the first result is not the usual Streamline. Now, listen, I don't pay for StreamYard, so there's only going to be 6 spots. But then, even then, it's early in the morning, so I don't expect too many people to jump on. All right. See, every time you open up StreamYard now, they give you a tutorial here. What the fuck? See if anybody wants to jump on. And because I got a lot to say, too, about that. Boxing Scene did a long article, at least by Boxing Scene standards, by the always excellent Eric Raskin. And they were talking about the situation where Boxing Scene has been left out in the cold for this event, this Crawford-Canelo event. They were not accredited. They will not be in the premises or inside the arena, rather, covering this fight. And it's created a whole bunch of controversy. People are afraid that the Turkey Al-Ashik and all these other guys, Dana White, they're going to be controlling and circumventing freedom of speech. I got a couple of things to say on both sides of the issue, but let me just start this StreamYard thing, see if anybody wants to jump on. Because believe it or not, BDA does get tired of hearing his own voice. I get tired of hearing myself talk, and I need a little bit of a respite here. So let me just put the... if anybody wants to jump on, give us your thoughts. Again, there's only 6 spots, so I guess we're going to be... If in the event that there's too many people, we'll try to rotate, and we'll use it like a phone line type of thing. So there's the link. If anybody wants to come in and voice their opinion on anything I've mentioned so far or something that I've missed, or whatever you want to talk about, make sure you go ahead and jump on. What are people saying in the chat? Pugilism is going on and on about I don't know what. I think he's going at it with somebody else. J. Cole says, no trust in Turkey or Dana White or Triple H, but one belt era has to return. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't trust Dana White or Turkey Al-Ashik. I like the fact that they're making some changes. Do I fully trust them? Of course not. But so far, things are going a little bit better than they have had with some of these other old-ass promoters and some of these bitch-ass fighters who overprice themselves. I don't know if this is the real Puro Sur. Puro Sur, is that you?
The one and only.
Oh, Puro, I haven't heard from you in a while, man. What's up?
I know. That's why I hopped on, bro. Like, fuck, I haven't hopped on BDA's channel.
I don't know. I heard you've been avoiding me.
Like, say what up?
That's what I heard.
What happened, brother?
I heard you've been avoiding me.
What'd you hear?
I heard you've been avoiding me.
No,
you've been ducking
would I
that
avoid
smoke.
you?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Listen,
No, I know, but why would I?
Listen, maybe because you're intimidated by my quick wit and sexual prowess. Now, but listen, Puro, what's your outlook on this?
Shit, you're right. Damn.
What's your outlook on this Canelo Crawford fight? How do you see it going? What are your thoughts on it? I'm curious to hear what you got to say.
I've been saying since the fight got announced, I'm just hoping for a good fight, man. Because I love both these fighters, man. I'm a big Crawford fan, big Canelo fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing's impossible. Crawford's got skill. Like, obviously, like, these guys are the same size, right?
Mhm.
Got a lot of experience, but against a level of position, what Canelo is at his natural weight. Never fought at the weight division before. How he looked against Madrimov, a guy that I thought he was going to obliterate. It's not looking good. Stranger things have happened. I just want a good fight. Like I was just telling, I was just on the channel right now. I was just telling them my dream would be if this fight resembled Austin Trout versus Canelo. If it resembles that fight, I'm gonna be very happy.
Because you thought that one was entertaining.
It was entertaining, competitive. It was early. Obviously, it wasn't Canelo that we know now, but like literally, like super close fight. Like literally, like that was like when Canelo was first starting to show kind of like his slickness that he's always shown. Is like a lot of people say, oh, after Floyd Mayweather, he took from Mayweather's tool bag. And like no, Canelo's always like that was one of his biggest criticisms. Like coming up is that Canelo didn't fight like the prototypical Mexican fighter. I mean. But that was the one where like, yeah, it was all flashy and it was like, it's kind of like stunted on Austin Trout, even though Austin Trout had a lot of success in that fight.
Yeah, no,
that was ultimately the fight that kind of like convinced them to take the Floyd fight.
Yeah, that's a good point. And by the way, people are saying Puro is back from the projects. Somebody says, I thought Puro had died of a Scante overdose. So it's good to hear Puro is around. The rumors of Puro's demise were greatly exaggerated. Hey, by the way, Puro, I gotta ask you, because for months in the build-up to this fight, we had to hear so-called experts talk about Crawford is the more skilled guy, and all Canelo has his size. Now we saw the weigh-in. What did you make of both guys, how they look, and what do you think about this so-called weight disparity?
Well, obviously the just by the eye test, which I hate that term. Like, there's no disparity. In terms of skill, like people hate on Canelo. I mean, that's just the factual facts. And he's Mexican. Like American versus a Mexican, they're always going to disparage a Mexican fighter as having inferior skills to an American fighter. It's just it is what it is. It doesn't matter if you're black or if you're a Mexican American. It's just it's what the narrative is. But in terms of skill, not Canelo, man. I think Canelo is the more skilled fighter than Bud. In all the general boxes or check marks, whatever you want to say.
That's blasphemy some people consider that blasphemy. But you're right, though. There is a degree of truth to what you're saying when people always besmirch the Mexican style when they say this. Oh, I'm not gonna fight flat-footed like a Mexican. Keith Thurman said that. Regis Prograis said that. So right there, the connotation is it's a negative one on the Mexican style. So you're right. They're always besmirching, or often rather besmirching the Mexican style. Now the reason why I brought that up is because the size thing is because I saw the weigh-in yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't see much of a size difference between Canelo and Crawford.
No. Crawford bulked up, which I don't like. Doesn't bode well for him. Like he's never been like I don't know why people calling him a speed demon all of a sudden. Crawford's never been a speed demon, and now he bulked up. I mean, if he was a speed demon, it's gonna slow down.
I mean, it stands to reason, right? We also got LT and Severino jumping in. Severino, what did you watch the weigh-in, and what did you make of how each guy looks? Do you think there's gonna be a size disparity tonight, like people were saying for months?
Hey, saludos a toda la raza. ¡Au!
Saludos.
Hey, carnal.
¿Qué
onda, pinche? Todo bien, cabrón.
What up?
Ay, coño, pinche cabrón. Tomó café esta mañana, güey.
So, Severino, what did you...
All jokes aside,
yeah,
all jokes aside, I think, well, again, I think I mentioned this before, but it's not...
Okay, LT, come on, LT, come on, hold on.
LT drank a couple of cups of coffee this morning, I guess. The thing is, I mentioned this before, right? I don't really think it will be a size disparity between these two fighters. As we saw in the weigh-in, obviously Crawford looked more muscle built, a little bit more filled. Like when they're like face to face, you can see like the Crawford-Smith section is a little bigger than Canelo, so you can see he been doing a little bit of the creatine. Um, there won't be no any size disparity. Both of these fighters started at the same time. Both of these fighters started at the same weight class. It's not Canelo's fault that Crawford stayed at one weight class for like 7 years, chasing nothing. Um, it won't be no size disparity. I still picking Canelo more than ever because I think Crawford's gonna be sluggish. It's gonna be way slower. Like the way his straps looks, it looks like he'll be lifting a lot of weights.
He's a dumbass.
No, I mean he has to build some type of muscle because he understands that he would never be in this particular weight class before. But
he's a stupid ass the way he came in, man.
damn fool.
He's all bulky.
Sometimes fool, I think like Crawford, took like a woman from you or like some money or messed up your parlay once. I don't know.
he looks like a fucking sausage. You see him? He looks like a fucking sausage. He's gonna get his ass whooped.
But hey,
he reminds you of Wilder. He's like all tight, right? He doesn't look.
No,
he looks like he's gonna be lumbering in there.
Didn't you see his Crawford's face? Like he was like all nervous, and he goes like,
you can tell, you can see
he
it.
was like, yeah, stay here.
You can see it in his face. Yeah,
I
can
think he was
nod his head.
I think, fool, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably just me. But didn't have that face like he was just happy to be there.
He looks scared. Like the first. Remember they had that first press conference. We had that look in his face. They go, shit. Like I'm like actually doing this.
Crawford's old trick is they're not working on Canelo because remember in every single face-off he does the same crazy lunatic ass.
Yeah, he wasn't smiling in this one, was he?
Yeah, but you know how he does. And Keishan, Keishan, Shakur, and but they come from the same school of like, popping your eyes my big so like they can see the back of your eyes, so you look like
scary.
I think shit, yeah. Super briefly. Like
he's doing those wide eyes. He's like, I'm fucking crazy. Look at me.
No, but that's why like every time like they look at each other like, what? Try it like my fucking hard. The thing is, he noticed that Canelo had like the same face when he told
he's like Black Charles Manson.
Canelo had like that "¿Qué pasa?" face, and
hey, bro, I don't know, bro. You fucking
was like,
lost me the fuck out, bro.
What happened?
What are you guys talking about again?
We're talking about the fact that Crawford was trying to mean mug Canelo at the weigh-in, and Canelo just patted him on the back.
From a question.
Yeah, he was giving him like Black Charles Manson looks, like he just killed Sharon Tate or something.
This whole thing, I think it's a little bit of a reach. I think it's a little bit of a reach to when we look at some of these dudes and go like, we try to overanalyze everything. Like, oh, he blinked and he's nervous. And he's not like, listen, these guys are professionals. On fight night, all of that goes out the window, and the training turns on.
I mean, but Crawford did look like he was going to shit his pants. Like like at the last couple of press events, he was like smiling and all that. This one, he looked like he looked at the first press event, like he looked really like concerned.
All right,
he didn't have a look of confidence.
I mean, I think I don't really think he's like. I mean, I don't really think he's scared. I think it's just the moment. I think he's just getting blinded by the lights. Like, remember,
I think it was a lot for him. You could tell it had an effect on him because you saw that crowd. It was massive.
I think he's getting starstruck. Like, I think he's just looking at the crowd and he's like, "Oh my god!"
That crowd was massive. I was like shocked. How many people were there? That shit looked crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he looked around, and if you can see, he never stopped looking at the crowd.
Nope.
Because I think he was like, "Damn, this is like the superstar."
He's like, "This is the real deal."
Wow. No, dude, there were more people there than than many.
And all his fights.
No, he packs his thing, especially in Omaha.
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, remember he always had the benefit of having at the very least good cards with good entertaining undercards and shit. So he's fine. But the thing is, I think like he never been in an event.
Alfred feels a little confident in that fight. I think Crawford feels that he can beat him. Um, the way he's trying to stare down Canelo, I think he believes in
Choke
himself,
man's
which
nice.
is good because the more they believe in himself, the more entertained the fight's gonna be, and the more they're willing to exchange. So for me, all for it, bro. Like for me, I hope he believes he can win. Know what I mean? I hope he has those balls so he can stand in there and trade. You know?
He won't. He won't.
He's like,
He had Keyshawn eyes going on, man. Once you got Keyshawn eyes, you know you're losing.
Well, I mean, listen, it's
Keyshawn
fight
eyes.
night, it's fight day rather, and the it's coming, man. It's gonna be in a couple of hours. That the prelims probably start at about 6 p.m. maybe. So I'm curious, where are you guys gonna be? Let's start with Pudo. Pudo, where are you gonna be watching the fight?
Well, I was supposed to be in Vegas right now. I had my ticket, but I had to sell it because
his boiler broke down.
Yeah, my boiler broke down. Life reminded me that poor.
So now he's
I still trying to
showering
go to
with cold
Vegas,
water,
but
bro.
it got expensive just to go chill with the homies that are out there. So fight party at my house.
All right, there you go. You got a case of the Sposdas.
Well, Puro Sur, hold on, bro.
Monday.
Your fight parties
Yeah.
are always pizza, bro. When are you gonna fucking pop out a grill, bro?
Pizza, bro.
When
Fuck
are you
that.
gonna
Well,
fucking
well,
pop out a
sometimes
grill,
pizza, I'm not gonna
bro?
lie, sometimes
And some
pizza.
fucking chicken and fajitas. When are you gonna do that?
Pero for this fight, and
Yeah,
for most fights, I
Puro's
go
like,
to
we're
my
gonna have
boy
a
Nico's
pizza
house. He likes the
party at my
grill.
house again, Puro, like,
And
Little Caesars, Puro, come on, bro.
not Little Caesars, Pizza Hut at least.
Oh, Pizza Hut, okay.
All right. Fu, where are you gonna be watching the fight? Are you gonna be, because I know now Sobers has been streaming nonstop now for about 7 days, so I think he's just gonna stay there. Are you gonna be streaming as well, or how are you gonna work that out?
I might do like a stream, like a play-by-play kind of thing.
Okay.
At my house. Yeah, I
I
might
like
do
your
that.
co-host, Julio. I like your co-host.
Oh, all right. Yeah, cool.
Seriously, I do. I troll you on one of my accounts. She loves me.
Shit, you troll me?
Yeah, Jesus
Oh.
of all Jesuses.
Oh, all right.
That's me.
Yeah, we might do a stream later today. It might be me and her, or just me.
Seriously,
But
you
get
stepped
it-
up your game, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. Like, holy shit. All right.
Oh yeah, I've been doing streams for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not crappy like they used to be. Like, I'm actually
Thanks.
into them. I'm into them. I ain't lying.
LT, where are you gonna be watching the fight?
I like them crappy.
Well, I'm gonna be watching it on my house too, bro. And I'm gonna be on Black and Brown. I'm gonna stream it too. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna call the play-by-play.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna be here manning the station over at the BDA shed. I mean BDA shed headquarters, and I'm gonna be planning on going live afterwards. And again, one of the reasons why I woke up early today. I woke up at 5 a.m. because usually after a big fight, even after we do a phone line show, phone call show, and I think we usually it goes all the way into 3 a.m. And then I go, finally I can get some sleep, and then I lie down and I can't go to sleep. And then on top of that, tomorrow we've got the Inoue MJ fight, which is about going to be 6 a.m. So my plan is to really be tired, so tired that I can't stay awake anymore. And I'm gonna, So I'm gonna try to catch a couple of Z's, and then wake up at 6 a.m. and catch the Inoue fight. And I don't know, maybe I'll go to sleep again afterwards. I don't know. It's just it's good that we have 2 fights in a row, but at the same time, it's not good because there's very little time in between. So we'll see what happens, man. What else?
Definitely. I want to give a shout out to Matt Chad Boxing, bro, the tavern. I want to give a shout out to Matt Chad, bro, over there, bro. The dude's still fucking hilarious to me, and the kind of shit that he's been saying lately is just fucking off the roof.
Wait
He's
a minute, now I'm
fucking
confused.
hilarious.
Like Matt Chad has been on one.
I lose track
Shout
now.
out to Matt Chad, bro. The dude is a fucking he's a fucking
legend.
He's a joke book, bro. Like the dude is fucking hilarious, bro. I don't care who he's beefing, bro. But
that's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna say. I lose track now of who's beefing with who. Weren't you? Are you still beefing with him, or is that over, or what happened?
Beefing everywhere.
I don't think we were ever beefing, bro.
Give it a couple of days, bro.
I remember him
Or
doing an
maybe
impersonation.
we were beefing, bro. He knows I love him, bro. But his current beef right now is just fucking hilarious, dude.
Well, there you go. We got Timboski. I don't know how you pronounce it. Timboski. Is that how you pronounce it?
Homie, good.
No way, is that
I'm your
Frankenstein?
dad. I'm your fucking dad. Hey, what's up, Puro, man? Puro,
What up, Butch?
Puro,
Hey, what's
Puro,
up, Butch?
Puro, Puro,
my-
Puro,
What's
Puro.
that?
LT.
That's right.
Man
That's
said
right.
LT, the mad Mexican, mad
Shout
cartel
out
guy.
to Butch.
Hey,
Ow!
BDA
So-
fucking boxing.
So let me tell BDA, I never gave a prediction on your channel. Let me make an official prediction on your channel, bro. I was gonna say cocaine, bro. What the fuck, dude?
We all got that shit on deck. Yeah.
Right, I got Canelo by decision. I got
Canelo by decision.
BDA.
Canelo
All
by
right.
overdose.
Okay, right. Yes, sir.
Canelo by overdose. Oh man.
Listen,
What else here?
we got a great matchup there this weekend. I'll BDA. You know, salute to you, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Right back at
What
you.
you say, big man? Yeah. Like I said, blood. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Puro. You know what I'm saying? My El Jefe, Migo. You know what I'm saying? Chupa where the holes at? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, BDA. We got Lester Martinez, Membili. I got Membili running over Lester Martinez. I got
Whoa.
Callum Walsh knocking out Fernando Vargas Jr. And I got Canelo Alvarez
Whoa.
by decision.
Oh, shit.
Diferenciente? Yeah.
Hey, but wait a minute.
You know what, bro?
Let me say
side with Bush here, bro.
Let me say this.
I side with Bush. Although it's a little tempting, bro. Let's just a huge underdog minus 1,000. I know. I mean, plus 1,000. So like, if you want to put like a little $10 or $20.
Hey, listen, that
Woof, you know what I mean?
that all sounds
But
great.
yeah, man, I agree with Butch, bro. I got Mbili and I got Walsh, whatever that dude's name is.
Callum Walsh.
Callum Walsh.
But hold on. All those
I believe-
predictions. All those predictions sound great and everything, but I'm curious about you guys are missing the biggest one. This is the most important one. Is Mauricio Suleiman really gonna jump into the ring and get into it with security? That's what I want to know. What do you guys think?
Shout out to Outlaw, my other brother right there, bro.
He's gonna hit Turkey with a steel chair.
Hey,
Nothing gonna
BDA,
happen, and Mauricio's gonna be right there in the middle of the ring.
Hey, BDA, what do you say about Max Kellerman as well? Max Kellerman turning around his booty, shaking his booty in that strip club, in the boxing strip club.
He was.
They're throwing in ones at him. He said, come on. He said, no, come on now. Man, fuck out
I
here,
think
Max
Suleiman
Kellerman,
is
man.
gonna like shut all the lights out, and he's gonna like appear in the middle of the ring like a
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah. It's gonna be like Sting.
Well, you know, Suleiman likes to. He likes to be a part of things. You know, he wants to put stick his nose into everything. He's giving out pride. He's giving out pride belts. He's giving out, stupid things like that, man. Yeah, pride belts and all this other bullshit.
He's gonna walk Benavidez to the ring while he's holding an urn.
He pisses me off.
You know, it's interesting
But imagine if
about that.
Crawford wins, you think like fucking Mauricio's not gonna present the WBC to Crawford? Man, y'all crazy.
They're not.
He's gonna
Hopefully they keep
He's
his
gonna get
ass
choke
off.
slammed.
Yeah, hopefully they keep his ass out of the ring because what really bothered me is his tough guy act. His fake tough guy act. He said, si me pone a tres fortachones, like he said, in other words, he's saying if they put 3 buff guys in front of me, I'm still getting in the ring. What he meant to say was, if they put 3 buff guys in front of me, I'm sucking their dicks. That's what he should. That's what he would really happen in real life.
He's like, get out of my way, I suck your dick.
Damn, BDA, you mad as
DPD, as
fuck
long
at
as they
this
pay
dude.
3%.
Get out of my way.
BDA is taking this shit personal with these dudes. Damn, he can
Yeah, because I've had it with these fake personalities all over the place. Eli Segbach, Zidl, Max Kellerman, Suleiman. I've had it. It's fight morning, and this is authentic Mr. BDA. This isn't
BDA.
Mr. BDA that lets things slide anymore. No.
BDA is so mad that he's ripping his chair like Superman.
But
Ellie sit back reporting.
you know, it's
Oh my
interesting, man,
God.
because they were talking about the boxing scene did not get accredited. They're not going to be in the premises for this bout. And a lot of people are saying, oh, boy, this is an important conversation that we need to have. Let me tell you my point of view on this whole thing. Yeah, boxing scene not being allowed, it does set a bad precedent, right? Well, first of all, this is a private enterprise. It's a boxing business. If these guys don't want a particular reporter on the scene, they have the right to do so. That's number one. No, but on the other hand, I'm thinking about it this way. It starts off with a little bit of censorship here, and then you never know where it ends up. Because I'm a paranoid person. I'm always thinking ahead of what could happen. Yeah. And I was thinking, well, what if one day, you never know, what if one day Turkey Al-Sheikh and the Saudis or whatever, they end up either partnering with Google or you never know. Maybe they end up buying Google, right? Which is unlikely, but you never know. And they start to have some sort of say on Google, just like they did after 2016 when Trump won, and they started having a right-wing purge, which was real, and they started censoring people. What if they start censoring people on YouTube as well? Or, YTBC people?
Well, they're already doing that. They said that only person can talk about boxing is showbiz. That's it.
Well, you're talking about the algorithm thing, which is, that's a form of manipulation. But what I'm talking about is what happens if, let's say, I make fun of Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? Let's say, I start making fun of the fact that he doesn't wear any underwear under that fucking long white garb.
Well, he doesn't.
Well, right. But what I
doesn't wear underwear either, bro.
That's why I saw those brown streak stains.
Come on, man. I'm trying to make a serious point here. I'm trying to make a serious point here, and this fucking guy's talking about skid marks. What I'm saying is, what happens if... So I'm putting a stand here, and I'm saying, look, listen, Turkey Al-Sheikh and all these dudes, let's say boxing scene said something mean about you.
Calls him Turkey Al-Shit.
Well, there
Turkey
you go.
Al-Shit.
But let's say they say you don't like what boxing said. Okay, let them say it anyway. It's not gonna. How much is it really gonna change of whether it changes a little bit of public perception or not? You still got millions. You're still gonna put on these events. So my thing is, they should just let them in, say whatever they want to say. But censorship, it doesn't look good. However, I will say this about boxing scene. One thing they didn't mention in that Eric Raskin article, or maybe I missed it, is the fact that the animosity also stems from the fact that the owners of boxing scene are the same owners of Pro Box, and TKO, in partnership with Turkey Al-Sheikh, are the competitors of Pro Box because they're going to start a league of their own. And I know Pro Box technically is not a league, but it's going to be the same thing in the sense that they're both going to be looking for similar talent, low-level talent or unknown talent that doesn't demand a lot of money, and they're going to be putting these smaller cards. So they're going to be competing against each other. So they omitted that in that boxing scene article. I don't know if they've mentioned it before, or maybe I missed it in that article, but what do you guys think? What do you think about this censorship issue? Is it going to affect us at some point, and should we draw a line on the sand right now?
I'm just glad they didn't blame Canelo like the Mexican media's been fucking blaming him for like the last 10 years. That's serious shit, bro. Ricardo Celis is always fucking talking that bullshit, bro. But anyway.
I don't know if it'll look good for them if they start doing that. It's not gonna look good. I mean, you want to have that independent media. I think it really does help. I mean, a lot of people don't even watch a lot of this mainstream shit. Like you look at Eric Hawani or Chris Mannix, even like you got Timothy Bradley has his own YouTube. What does he have? 14,000 subscribers, and they're pushing him like crazy. You saw he became like a caricature. Like he had to like get some kind of like showmanship.
Well, I was going to ask you, Fu, because you're unafraid. I wanted to ask you about that. What did you think about Sean Zittle getting all this praise for supposedly pressing Dana White at the press conference?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That shit was disgusting. That was pathetic.
Yeah, that was dumb. Listen, that ain't the right place and time.
Yeah.
Hey, that ain't the right place and time to be having that conversation with Dana White. We didn't even get no answers out of him. So I don't even that Sean Zittle guy, that fake looking Scooby Doo shaggy ass looking nigga, man.
He remind me of like AOC or something, right?
Man, there's some Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
He actually looks like Shaggy, yo.
Exactly, he does. He looks like Shaggy, bro. Look at it. All he needs is a green t-shirt and a dog next to it. A green t-shirt.
And you saw that he looked like he was about to cry.
The fuck, man? How you ask? Dana White told you the millionaire guy, the man that owns company. Well, he's the head of a company. He has millions in the bank. You're asking him in front of thousands of people something that has nothing to do with the fight. What are you? Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
I was struggling.
Where was Sean Zeitel at the California State Athletic Commission meeting that you just had?
So it was so like pathetic because he has like that. He always have like that outdated emo style of his. He's, the hair like covering one of his eyes and shit. Skinny as fuck, grown ass man with like 120 pounds and shit. He's like, what do you think about the alley and shit? Why I look at him like, I just
bro, Hey, bro, that man,
Why do you have to
have a high
change
school
Ali
girl.
Dana?
That remind me of a girl. You know, you man, Americans, you man got high school, and that's man of your high school date trying to take her out on a prom. You keep asking if she says
For
no.
real.
Fuck off, man.
He,
Fuck
he
off,
was
man.
trying to make a
No.
name for himself. That's what he's doing.
Timboski,
Yeah,
it's like
that's
when
it.
you ask a girl, right? Like, "Hey, can you come with me to the prom?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing.
exists
Hold on.
on
Well,
board
hold on.
for
Let me
that.
say this. Let me say this. Let me say this because what Sean
He thought
Zittle
he was
did
making a
was
stand.
What Sean Zittle did was he knew Dana White wasn't going to answer his question. He already knew it because even if he would have answered it, how much of an answer can he give on such a platform when a whole bunch of people are asking questions and the answers are in 30-second or 1-minute format at the most? And then the fact that he has the same question 3 times in different format. This was all about. So again, whether he really cares about the Ali Act or not is somewhat invalidated by the fact that he was only gonna make it about himself. Because I see people in the chat saying, "Oh, this subject needs to come to light." Well, it should have been brought to light a long time ago. Sean Zittle didn't do it back in the day when he was with the PBC, as far as I know. So his motives have to be called into question, sort of like a fruit from a poison tree type of thing. And the other thing is this, like I said earlier in the show, okay, Dana White and the what's his name, the Turkey Al-Sheikh, they're coming in. Are they really? What is Sean Zittle really afraid of that? These guys are going to ruin boxing. Look, boxing's already been ruined enough. It can go worse. It can be worse, but so far it's been good. So why are these people afraid
they've
of? I
been
don't
footing
understand.
the bill on this shit too.
Now, why are you moaning, fam?
They've
Go
been
fucking
footing the
moan
bill.
at, go moan at Bob Arum, fam. He's almost 100 years old, bro. He promoted Ali and that. Go moan at Bob Arum. Go moan at fucking. Where the fuck's Al Heyman? Go moan at Al Heyman, man. Go moan at fucking. What's the other brother's name? Lou DeBella. Go moan at Lou DeBella, man. Go moan at all these motherfuckers. Richard Schaefer and the motherfuckers. Go moan at Oscar De La Hoya, man.
That fucking Shaggy dude doesn't understand that this dude's been footing the bill for a couple of years now. That's why there's anything happening in boxing right now. But he wants to come to him and say, "It's doing so well. Why do you want to change the Ali Act?" It's like, bro, because he's fucking. How much money they poured into it already? Billions.
I can't get past of you guys calling him Shaggy, man.
Yeah, he's full of shit. He don't know what he's talking about.
Shit.
He just looks high walking around.
It's like, we know you've been footing the bill for the last 4 years, but why do you have to change anything? It's like, because the model doesn't work. He cannot be giving these guys $400 million paydays left and right to have them do what they should be doing. You know, fighting these guys, fighting each other.
And we said the real fight should be getting the money. The real fight should be getting the big money.
Yeah, but even the real fighters getting overpaid.
Like, I don't
hundreds of millions of dollars. That's non-sustainable.
You listen. You see, for example,
face, bro, say so many. That's what's face say so many things at the same time, bro. He also had that face of, bro, I just got here. Relax.
It's like Dana, and he goes right after Dana, which is funny. Dana's like, what the fuck? He's like, Turkey set this shit up.
It looks like a meth head. Fucking meth head.
Dana White was like,
how? Ayo. How
Dana, I hate you. Why do you hate me?
How do these guys get boxing? But how do these guys get boxing? Fight hack. How does him?
Because he's
who the fuck is?
I like they all boo Dana. They don't know anything about the fucking UFC or anything.
The fuck does he get to speak about boxing? Why does he get to speak about boxing?
Dana should ask him hey, why do you hate me so much? He'd be like, I don't know, because you're Dana White. That's why I hate you.
Dana White looked like an old man in that particular instance because he was like, "Excuse me, good afternoon, sir."
What you say, Puro? What you say, Puro?
No, I was saying, Cuck Zytel gets to vote for the Hall of Fame, bro. That's how much.
How does he get to vote for the Hall of Fame, man? He ain't been watching boxing longer than me. Puro.
First social media influencer to be admitted into the BWAA.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet he wants Adrian Broner to be in the Hall of Fame? He's just itching to put that name in there as soon as Adrian Broner retires. Now here's the interesting thing, man.
He's not retired yet.
I don't think so.
I want to see that celebrity boxing match: Jake Paul versus Ellie Setback.
Come on. You want to see Ellie's going to get
boxing from Australia. Outlaw, man. I love you, man.
PDA wouldn't exist if it weren't for Ellie, and that's a fact.
I love you, Outlaw.
That's true. That's true. This channel wouldn't exist.
Ellie Setback. BDA reporting.
Ellie Setback jerked off, and Ellie Setback jerked off, and this was the result. No, but you know what? I want to say this. As it pertains to this whole, people like Sean Zittle and all that, he's just faking this. It's perfect, really, in a lot of ways. He gets to espouse about a so-called good cause for the fighters, and he gets a shitload of attention. So if you attack him for it, he can hide behind the mantle of, oh, I'm just protecting the fighters. But here's the thing. This is what I've been trying to talk about for years now. Very few people actually bring up the fans, us. We've been having to endure overpriced pay-per-views, and one of the reasons why we get overpriced pay-per-views is because a lot of these dudes, a lot of these fighters are overpaid. They they demand way too much money, and then we have to foot the bill via pay-per-view. So if somebody new wants to come along and change things for us, listen, what about the fighters? What about them? They don't like boxing? Get the fuck out of here. Go find another job. Nobody's forcing these dudes
That's
to
what
fight.
I say. The dudes want fucking like $50 million to fight a 50-50 fight. It's like, what the fuck? What the hell? Like,
Listen, man, I don't mind the format getting changed. I believe there do needs to be some other type of some incentives that need to be put in boxing.
You know what's
like
funny,
I
man?
said,
Like this guy.
there's no more tournaments. Sorry, sir. There's no more tournaments. There's no more fucking prize win. There's no more cash prizes. There's none of that shit. It makes no sense. There's no bonuses. I know if we told these fighters, you get a bonus if you try and receive a credible performance or knockout.
there are bonuses now. They brought bonuses in.
They give everybody
bonuses, right? The card today has bonuses. They have performance and knockout bonuses.
Good.
You don't even have to.
They brought in the UFC model already. What'd you say?
I said they don't even have to earn legacy no more. They just hand it to you.
Exactly.
I mean, now they're bringing in the bonuses.
The guise of a duck.
Like a 33rd degree Mason. They just give it to you. You don't earn it. And that's the thing, though, man. Like Food TV said and Timboski were saying about the bonus. The bonuses are going to incentivize people. First of all, look at this. Look. People like us were always saying, Shakur Stevenson, stop running. Don't do the Nakatila and the Los Santos approach. And what happened? He stood his ground against Cepeda. Now, I think Cepeda had something to do with that as well. But in the end, look at all the praise. Look at all the praise he received from the boxing pundits. And if it wasn't for people like us and the Sheik who said no more Tom and Jerry fights, he wouldn't have fought that way. More likely. Yep. More than likely. So
he would have fucking ran, bro.
Exactly.
They gave Cepeda like one round. Like, what the fucking fight were they watching, bro? Like, literally, like, Shakur Stevenson is like literally the most entitled, like, hype job fighter I've seen in a while, bro.
Well, it's interesting because I remember
bro. Giving him only one round is kind of sus, bro.
It is. It is. And when people, he claimed he was going to whoop his ass and he didn't. But then he claimed
ass, right?
Belt to ass. Yeah, he didn't put belt to anything. But
he was up on those ropes getting beat up.
Yep, that's exactly what he was doing. I thought he won the fight too, but it was a very fucking close fight, bro. Zapata dictated the fight. He outjabbed the supreme. Like literally, how many years have we heard that Shakur Stevenson has one of the best jabs in boxing?
Yeah.
Like, why did he get outjabbed by a guy that's not known for his jab? 100 jabs was landed on Shakur. Where was his defense? Where the fuck is the defense?
That fight just let me know Lomachenko would have beaten him because Lomachenko.
That's what I'm letting people know right now, bro.
Yeah.
And every event Shakur is at, I'm gonna just stream it illegally, bro. I don't care if I'm subscribed to I don't care if I'm subscribed to whatever it is, bro. I'm gonna just stream it illegally again, bro. You know what I mean?
That's the only way anyone's watching his fights anyway.
Santos. The only reason I watched the Zapata fight, one, I'm a Zapata fan, and two, it's a style that usually troubles that type of fucking fighter, which it did. No credit shown.
All right.
I care less about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson too, bro. It's gonna be a fucking boring ass fight as well, bro. Like I can care less, dude.
Horrific style matchup, bro.
He ran away the whole time.
I'm going to watch it anyway because it's for the 140-pound championship of the world. The real, every time I say undisputed 140-pound championship, I always get people saying, Teofimo's not undisputed. Take those belts and shove them right up your keister, mister, because that's how much I care about those fucking things. That's how very little I care about them.
Or give it to Shakur or give it to Benavidez. They love free belts.
Oh, come on. Which is true, by the way, but I got to play the nice guy here.
Yeah.
But
fuck the nice guy. I thought it was early in the morning and no Mr. Nice Guy. Come on, BDA, let's go.
You're right. I'm going back to my conditioning. That conditioning is kicking in. So I gotta ask though, in regards to the fight tomorrow. Is anyone interested in that one? The Inoue MJ?
Of course, it's not Inoue. Of course, MJ's about to get cooked. But yeah, it's Inoue.
But you know what? The reason why? Wait, who's getting cooked?
MJ.
Okay, but that's exactly the reason why I asked, because for a lot of people it seems, even though MJ is a very good fighter, it seems like it's a foregone conclusion for a lot of people.
Yeah, levels. That's all. MJ is a really good fighter, but it's levels, man. It's levels.
So what you got? You got Inoue winning?
Yeah, I got Inoue like in 5, bro. Easy.
Whoa.
It's gonna be easy. Watch.
Yo, bro, I just don't. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if you're there to win or not, bro. You're fucking right. Wasn't MJ like giving them gifts and shit? Here's another fucking towel or whatever. Or here's a robe. Here, gave robes to all his team and shit, bro. Like,
That's what those weight classes do, and some of those fighters do that. Like they're not into the American / North American talk shit, degrade your opponent type shit. You know, that's what they do.
That's bro, right, I just can't imagine a dude be like, I've been thinking about what size would fit on you, so I got you this size and this color. Like, I don't know, weren't you about to fight this fucker, dude? Like,
remember,
I can't have it in my mind when you're about to fight a dude. You're still thinking, do you think he'll prefer blue or pink? Like, I don't know, bro.
Triple G did the same thing to Canelo and to the Japanese dude that he beat Murata. Like,
What did he do? What did he do? Tell me.
He gave the rope.
Oh, the rope. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
he's like a hotel guy. He's like hotel. He gave him a robe, shampoo, some soap bars.
You know.
Soapy soap, cheap soap, or what?
Hey, by the way, I heard about that Las Vegas. Apparently, I saw this on Twitter. You know how they have the mini fridge, right? They've got snacks on top of them, and they got sensors underneath the snacks.
You didn't know that?
I mean, fuck. What do I know about Vegas?
You don't know that,
then, I didn't know that. But then what they said.
Oh, you never been to Vegas? My bad. Okay.
If they said if you want to store something in the refrigerator, it's $60.
Really? They fucking added a fee to that? Oh wow.
Yeah. You know what? Next thing you know, they're gonna charge you every time you flush the toilet. You gotta take a shit. Oh, that's $20 right there, literally down the drain.
Yeah, no, Vegas has changed big in that aspect just in recent years because it used to be kickback city. Like literally, they wanted to give you all these amenities to keep you coming back to gamble. Now they're taking them all away. It's weird.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's insane, man. That is insane. But as it pertains to the Inoue fight, you know, I can't get this image out of my mind. MJ getting hit over and over by Tapales. Getting hit with a 1-2. He couldn't get out of the way. Now, granted, it was against a fellow southpaw, and southpaws don't like fighting southpaws. Just like orthodox guys don't like fighting. Nobody likes fighting southpaws, even other southpaws. But the speed thing is what gets me. He couldn't get out of the way of those left hands. And Inoue, on top of being a hard puncher and being a skilled operator, he's fucking lightning quick. Has to be perhaps the fastest fighter, or if not the fastest, one of the top 3 fastest guys in the world in boxing. And MJ, he's skilled, he's a southpaw, and by the way, also MJ, has he really been proven? Because his best opponent to date, or his best win to date, is still Daniel Roman, and that was years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He's a bit inflated. He's a bit inflado, but he's a good fighter. It's just levels, like I was saying. Anyways,
on paper, it's a good fucking fight, bro.
Yeah, paper does look like a good fight.
Yeah, it's a good fucking fight, dude.
In the chat,
I'm not excited about watching it on fucking Facebook either, bro.
Ah, come on. As long as you can watch it. I mean, imagine if it wasn't on TV.
Right? I'm still gonna find it somewhere illegally to stream it, bro.
Okay, stop using the word illegal. You're gonna get us in trouble somehow for that.
I would favor Nettie. I would favor Nettie over MJ, to be honest.
Nettie they already fought, right?
No, Luis Nettie.
Yeah, Nettie already fought Inoue.
No, I'm talking about MJ and Nettie.
Oh, okay. Oh, you would favor Nettie over MJ. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Experience, power. You know, like the only thing about Nettie is he's an idiot. Like he messes up his own. Like he says it himself in the Inoue fight. Like I don't think he was surprised that he dropped him, but like literally, like he blew his wad. Like literally, he's just not smart.
Right.
He's like a kind of what I'm trying to say. He's like a dumb fighter, but super skilled. The fucking Nettie, man, poor guy.
You know what's interesting about the MJ is not Mexican, but he looks a little bit Mexican. Yeah, meanwhile, Neri is Mexican.
He looks like a little puro sur, bro. I know exactly what you mean. It's like a little, puro sur, bro. 100%, bro. Like a nopal is noticeable right in his fucking forehead. Yep.
Yeah, proud of that nopal, by the way. Proud of that.
Yeah.
But Neri is Mexican. He looks Afghani.
Yo, bro, Neri looks like he's from fucking Cuba or some shit, dude.
Yeah,
like
somewhere.
he looks, but right, he looks a little Dominican as well. Like, I don't know, like not exactly sure. But
You know what's crazy?
and his
And
little
then his
brother
original
MJ.
fighting style is very American, so it's
You know
kind of
what?
like it throws you off.
You know what's crazy? LT, I thought Neri was Puerto Rican. That's what I got.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense. I'm telling you, because the style, bro.
I remember I saw him like walking into the ring with like the Mexican sombrero. I thought he was punking, and then I heard him talking. I was like, oh shit.
Why do you
Yo,
think
he's
he's one of the
also
few,
athletic
few
like
Mexican
one too,
fighters
right?
that
Like, if
PBC
he was like, bro.
went out to recruit? Like one of the few Mexican fighters that PBC went, like, I want that guy.
Interesting. Hey, Puto, I gotta ask you, man. Were you close with Rapid? Would you talk to the guy behind the scenes, or how was it?
That's literally like, out of all the people I met here, I've met some good dudes. Like LT, like one day I hope to meet him. He's a real cool dude, big troll, but good guy. But yeah, no, Rapid's my dude, bro. Like I wish I would know what the hell happened to him.
Oh, so you don't
on
know?
your show, PDA. Remember when supposedly his brother called in? Remember?
Right.
And that he
I
died.
was the one that told you in the chat. I'm like, BDA, ask him what's Rapid's real name, and he's like, oh, he said his real name. Freaked me out. I spent $100 trying to look for his obituary and shit. I kid you not.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to the dude then? I mean, that's if you don't know. I think OG Blaze, not maybe it wasn't Blaze. I think it was Killer Be Killed. I think he knew.
Killer Be Killed talk shit, bro. You don't know either, bro.
Well, I mean, I think he said he. I think he
I'm
was.
gonna
His
tell you what really was, bro. That dude was an undercover cop, bro.
Fucking LT, bro. You're funny. Bro. Yeah, no, but like, bro, like me and Rapid, bro, I fucking multiple fights with him. You know, like one of the few dudes, like other more, and another dude that I actually met in real life from these YouTube places.
Well, I mean, I wish we could know, man, because there's been so many fights.
I just want peace of mind that it's okay. That's it.
Yeah, because okay, first it was that dude that called in, by the way.
Talk to me. You don't even have to talk to me. I just want to.
Yeah, that dude that called in and who claimed to be his brother. The reason why I disbelieved it at the time was because the guy calls in and he starts talking about Canelo this, Canelo. He starts talking boxing. All right, sorry. The reason why I disbelieved this dude who called in, claiming to be Rapid's brother, is because he started talking boxing. And then at the end, he goes, oh, by the way, Rapid's dead. I was like, what the fuck? Like, wouldn't you start off with that one? Like, no, first you want to talk about the what mop you bought, and, you know, you're going to place a bet, and I just went to Home Depot today. Yeah, and then, oh, by the way, Rapid's dead. Then again, some people deal with things differently. I don't know, so... I don't know. I just thought it was.
You know what was funny to me, bro?
And what made it plausible is that he was really suffering at that around that time because he got the stones.
You know what was really funny to me, bro? When Gonzalo did it, like Gonzalo like went live and he got drunk, remembering what Rapid like. Oh, my best friend, what Rapid? Like I remember, like Gonzalo just live, straight drunk over there from.
No wonder you don't say that about Gonzalo no more.
Like, he was pouring his heart out, bro. Like Gonzalo was feeling it that night, bro.
BDA, you remember how LT used to describe Gonzalo?
Even made, you know, in the house.
Like he's like, out of everybody on YouTube, I really, really respect Gonzalo. He used to say it all the time when people used to talk about Gonzalo. I really respect him. I haven't heard him say that about Gonzalo in a long time. What happened, LT? What happened, LT? Gonzalo's a good dude.
I love Gonzalo, bro. Shout out to Gonzalo, bro.
I used to say it all the time, bro. Like literally, te lo querías coger,
come on.
Hey.
Nah, bro.
Here's the thing,
shout out there, bro. Shout out. I love Gonzalo.
The thing about Gonzalo is like, you can have,
I really, really do respect.
In my head, like, you can have me.
Let me tell you why, bro.
Hold on, one at a time.
He's a fucking veteran, bro.
I think Gonzalo is one of them dudes like you can be mad at him, but it's really hard to hate him. I don't know. Like he's just like a sincere dude. I don't know. Like
Yo,
he just
bro,
comes out the way he is. Like
you just gotta love Gonzalo, bro. Like Gonzalo has beef with you, bro, and he gets, and as soon as like his drunkenness wears off, like he forgets, dude. Like he was even. he forgets.
And believe
Yo,
me
you
when I say
control
this.
Gonzalo all night, bro, when he's drunk. And he's saying the worst despicable shit to you, bro. And then he wakes up, bro, like with a fucking cruda, and the dude won't like, hey,
LT,
what's up, man?
no, being live with Gonzalo, man, is like a spiritual experience, man.
That guy's funny as all hell. But I'm gonna say this, and this comes from the heart, and it's true. Out of everybody I've met here that talks boxing, or at least thinks they talk boxing, but they talk a lot of shit. Gonzalo, like everybody on this panel, like you guys don't even know a fraction of the boxing that Gonzalo knows. And I say that with the utmost respect to everybody on the panel and the utmost disrespect to everybody on the panel.
Hey, bro,
Including me. And as drunk as fuck. And drunk as fuck. Like literally, he gets drunker, he knows more.
Yeah, you know that Gonzalo guy knows his boxing still. His Pudo's not lying, fam. You don't lie.
No, Gonzalo, of course, knows his boxing, bro.
2 to 4 Coronas. Yo, you're gonna be telling you, run down the whole Mexican history. He's gonna tell you about. He's gonna tell you about Pinto. He's gonna tell you about Pinto. He's gonna tell you about Oliveras. He's gonna tell you about everybody. He's gonna tell you about El Salvador Sanchez.
He definitely knows Mexican boxing. He definitely knows Mexican boxing. One of the few.
Hey, by the way,
I remember.
real quick. I gotta real quick before you guys continue. Shout out to. Hold on. I'm cutting off here. Shout out to PJ Lizine for his contribution with the super chat. He says, in the first 3 rounds, Bud gets rocked a few
I
times.
remember BDA, bro, just having like straight
water, brother. Go.
Yeah, sorry. I'm cutting off here. So we're having a delay. Every time I switch screens, there's a delay here. But real quick, shout out to PJ Lizine for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to PJ Lizine for his contribution with the super chat. He says, in the first 3 rounds, Bud gets rocked a few times and goes into a shell. Afterward, Bud coasts until he can cash that check. Canelo win 12. All right, shout out to PJ Lizine. I'm going to be writing down that prediction as I do with all of them. Shout out to PJ Lizine. Shout out to everybody out there. Don't forget to hit the like. And hold on a second, real quick. Because otherwise you guys can hear me. All right, go ahead. Sorry, guys. What were you saying on the StreamYard?
Awards.
I don't know who's talking, bro, or what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, there was a bit of a.
Oh, what the fuck like going on, bro?
It's every time
it's the premium Canadian Wi-Fi.
No, it's not the Wi-Fi. It's I got so many things open. This shit's starting to lag now. But
you probably need to reboot your PC.
Well, close the porn, bro. Close the porn, bro.
Never. That's never gonna happen. Might as well ask me to stop breathing.
You
can't do that
later. You can watch penises later.
Come on.
He's trying to save those videos.
Come on. Listen, no. Come on. That's going.
A lot of these porn stars, they have like their own channels, and these paid, and sometimes it's hard to find like those leaks. So like don't do that.
I was gonna ask the Real Food TV. You're always watching showbiz. I don't know why you're always watching showbiz, but you're always watching showbiz.
You're always watching porn.
It's the eyeballs.
It's the eyeballs. Well, I gotta ask though.
The eyeballs. That's what got you. That's what got you, Food TV.
He's hypnotized. He's hypnotized by the eyeballs, like a snake. But I wanted to ask you.
I think he secretly likes him, bro.
Probably.
Exactly. Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
That's it, bro. You having a little crush on him, bro.
Fu, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I heard the guy bet $20,000 on Canelo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that.
What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty funny. I mean, he put. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm guessing he did it. I think he's just making shit up.
I think he did. He makes a lot of money on super chats. Like literally, people pay his bets. So I think he did.
Well, he's working for that booking thing, right? He works for like my bookie or something.
Yeah, man. They give him money, bro. You just say the truth. You know what I mean?
So he has to lie.
Yeah.
That guy ain't putting no $20,000 in anything.
You know what, bro? Maybe I do believe him, bro. I believe that he does bet a lot, dude.
Look at this. He sucks.
I missed. I grew disappointed of like all the channels that I used to love. Like when I first started, sold out, bro.
So what do you? So let me. What do you mean you don't like your setup, bro? Like what
I got to get that eyeball surgery. I'm telling you. My eyeballs. I'm gonna get it where my eyeballs are almost falling out of the
like his
sockets.
haircut, bro?
No.
Look, dude.
No, foo.
My
Sorry.
eyeballs are gonna almost fall out.
Foo. Sorry. Forget the eyes. Get a pair of tits. Get tit implants.
Oh yeah. I'll get some tits.
Put a flannel shirt.
What else should I do?
Put a flannel shirt, and then you open up a couple of buttons, and it's a dude with tits, and people are gonna be mesmerized by that. And
Exactly.
You're gonna be raking in the views, man.
Boobs with tits.
And they're crooked, and they're fucking crooked too. Like really, really crooked. And I'm like,
get extra large nipples. Like get some pepperoni. Tell the doctor I want pepperoni nipples.
The huge areolas, huge.
There you go.
To be honest, I missed the LDPC, bro.
I'm gonna show them at the beginning of every stream. I'm just gonna wiggle them around. It's gonna be weird.
Bro,
like a dude with a beard.
Bro, I wanted to thank you for bringing this shit up, Burosur. I want to give a shout out to BDA, bro. BDA is still nonstop pressing the fucking LDBC, bro.
The hot topics, the hot button topics.
Documentary that went like 75K.
Men with tits.
He has true will, bro. He has true will, dude.
Nah, BDA had them all, bro. I still watch them. The series that BDA put them out, I still watch them, bro. Because those were the good old days, bro. Because those guys knew how to troll. They knew how to rob their dual members and stuff. Man, it was that was epic time.
I like Food TV yawning into the microphone, like, oh, he's above this conversation. He's above this conversation.
No, I'm on my cell phone. That's why you can probably hear every fucking thing that's going on. I'm outside right now. I'm in my car right now.
All right, well, get those pair of tits, man. Then we can talk.
I'm gonna do it. Now that you bring it up.
Judas Blue Blood, BDA, bro.
I gotta get that done immediately.
Car, bro.
For selling out his brother.
He's sleeping in my car right now. Oh man. No.
Hold on. One at a time. Listen, the LDBC. Hold on, real quick. The LDBC thing. I don't even go after the LDBC. First of all, that was more than anybody on this channel. It was Bucho. He was the one that loved going after them because
boxing.
Because Bucho's the guy that got on into the YTBC before I did. He was the one that used to come tell me, hey, there's this thing, that YTBC, and I didn't understand what he was talking about. I was like an old man back then. I was like, well, what? Who? So then afterwards, the LDBC, once I found out about them, I was perplexed and mesmerized by their lack of insight into boxing and that they made it all racial. And then I got tired of it. So every once in a while, like for example, when that Canelo Boots Sparring came out, and they came out with the whole, Ennis is a traitor. He ain't staying on code. Every once in a while, I get surprised by the things they say and do. And then I remember, wait a minute. It's the LDBC. Okay. Time to move on.
Did you hear Bradley's latest prediction?
Oh, no.
He's like, don't be surprised. Crawford's going to knock out Canelo. He said it again yesterday. Don't be surprised. I'm telling you, he's gonna knock out Canelo.
Yo, bro, I'll be the saddest motherfucker if he fucking does knock out Canelo,
will knock out
bro.
Canelo before Crawford does, bro. I believe that shit more, bro.
Oh yeah, that's for real. That's real. I'm bigger than Crawford. That's for damn sure.
Nuts.
Many ways.
Well, that's what gets me about people like Sean Zittel, because Sean Zittel, when Inoue pointed out the fact that he was getting tested a lot, Sean Zittel was one of the guys saying, oh yeah, that's highly suspicious. But Crawford's gloves bursting not just once, but twice. Listen, again, I'm not saying he cheated, all right? I know Food TV disagrees with me on that one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But okay,
he did.
Hold on.
He's a dirty cheat.
But hold on. But it's still very bizarre. What I find the most bizarre out of this is, the strangest of all, is that nobody pointed out that it was strange. Nobody in the media. I didn't see anybody in the media.
It's also strange that he's more jacked than he's ever been in his whole career at 38. Everyone's just like, it's functional muscle. It's functional. That's the new,
they let him continue
narrative. Functional muscle. It's like, how is this motherfucker more jacked than he ever been in his whole career?
Yeah, hold on. Puro, that was oxymoronic, because what they're saying is, the commission was saying in Omaha was, okay, the gloves need to be changed because it's a hazard, but we're going to let them fight one more round with those hazardous gloves. It makes no sense. It made no sense.
I saw that guy Boxing Gems do a fucking breakdown of what's that fight, the Avanesian? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why don't you call it, it's like the cheese grated technique on the uppercut? The guy's glove is completely split. He's throwing uppercuts with a broken glove.
And again, who knows what happened? But okay, the once, but twice.
I know
Nobody
what
wants to
happened.
point out that it's strange. Nobody wants to point out that it's strange.
I think
I
he
mean,
took
that's-
something and stuck it in that fucking glove and did something.
Avenetia pointed it out. He actually
Yeah, he
did the litigation, but I can't find anywhere where that lawsuit went. Anywhere.
Well,
He probably
what's
threw it out.
Exodus Files just recently. I don't know if you guys saw it. The Exodus Files just recently did a video on Canelo Crawford, and they brought up the gloves. So when I say nobody, obviously I'm being hyperbolic. Some people brought it up. Thunderdome brought it up. Food TV brought it up. We brought it up. But other than that, nobody in the media, like Sean Zittel, never said, it's strange that the gloves burst for Crawford twice. Different brand gloves as well, by the way. I think that the ones in the Majumov fight were Grand gloves, which burst.
Yes, they were.
So
They're
what
Grant.
fuck?
The other ones are Everlast.
I think they're both Everlast because Crawford is sponsored by Everlast.
No, the second ones are Grants, from what I remember, because he wore the gloves that Madrimov had.
Exactly.
He said, "Oh, I'm gonna wear his gloves."
It was Everlast who released a statement saying that it was a bad batch of.
That was the
leather.
Avanesian fight. The second one was the Madrimov fight. That I think they were Grants. And no one took any. No one said anything about that.
First two.
Yeah,
I'll say
they
it once, I'll
burst.
say it again.
They broke in the back.
Creators need shit. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
He was. They said he was hitting the pads and they broke.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, look.
How
One
convenient.
time, I can understand. One time,
Mm-hmm.
2 times, and I asked that on the stream the day after. I said, "When's the last time that it happened to one fighter, and then twice to the same guy? Twice." Nobody answered because there is nobody can answer.
No.
It's never happened before. And people.
Also,
I see
what's
somebody.
weird is
I see somebody in the
fluctuation in
chat.
power, right?
Somebody in the chat, FactView says excuses already.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Don't address what we're talking about. Just ignore that.
Excuses,
And
yeah.
just go with the just say excuses, and I guess you won.
The whole
His
Victor
fluctuation in
Conte
power is
situation
also very
me.
interesting,
That
isn't it?
is nuts to me.
In one fight, he can knock out Amir Khan. The next, he's knocking guys dead with one punch. It's like, how'd that happen? It's
I
kind
don't
of
know
weird, I
about
think.
that. All I'm saying is the glove.
He's
It's
doing
interesting
something.
that
He's
nobody
doing
in the
something.
media points out the glove thing. They love to.
They don't. And if that was Canelo or any other fighter, you never hear the end of it.
Maybe.
You
Or
remember
the
when
most recent
Lomachenko's
thing,
gloves
BDA.
blew up? You would never hear the end of it.
BDA, and the most recent thing with the Victor Conte and Bud thing that just came available. I try to give Bud and all these boxers because I think they're all on something. Not anything to like enhance their performance or like strength or anything. They're all taking something for the weight cut.
Right.
Every single one of them. I don't give a fuck.
But Bud's taking anabolics for sure.
But I give
Nah,
Bud
he's
the
taking
benefit of the doubt.
anabolics.
But what disappointed me about Bud, other than the gloves and all that stuff, is that Bud, like all these stack fighters, they work with them, but they never use them as a spokesperson for themselves. Bud allowed Victor Conte to actually release his results before the fact. You get what I'm saying? So like literally, like Bud is the first fighter to actively use Victor Conte as his representative leading up to a fight. I thought that was nuts. And all it was is like, why are you pointing to Victor Conte? He can change this and the other. What about Eddie Reynoso's camp? Where all these guys, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like literally, it's insane, bro.
It is insane.
They're talking
Out of
about
all the
Victor
guys,
Conte,
to show
like,
your
like
fucking test results, Victor Conte, amazing.
they're talking about Victor Conte like it's like that dude. You know, he's to shit on the
Amy these, and Bud doesn't say shit. Bud doesn't like say no, don't do it, la la la. Bruh, it's crazy, man.
Well, here's another interesting thing that I'd never seen on the. They showed that on the.
reap your shoulder, whatever.
They showed this on the Exodus Files, the latest video. There's a clip of Crawford playing cards and all that during training camp. And he's there with Shakur Stevenson, and he's always cheating. Apparently, anytime they do something competitive.
Yeah, I
he's
I put that in one of my videos. The same video where they all the. Yeah, it was in one of my videos, and he said, all his friends called him out. They said, "Yeah, you good, but you cheat. You cheat. You always cheat."
Yeah,
remember
so,
that?
okay.
Is that the one?
So yeah, that's the one. And Shakur Stevenson says you cheat at everything. Now, okay, look, listen.
At everything,
I'm not saying that based because of that. I'm certain that the guy's cheating, but he's associated with a known. He's associated with a known cheater in Victor Conte. And then we have that from his friends, close friends. So I mean, come on, it's not a good look, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I pointed out. I had that video a long time ago, and everyone around him was calling him a cheat. They said he cheats in everything he does, even on his wife.
Oh, come on.
You know who's the goat at this?
So you're
Memo.
saying that Buck Crawford
Memo is
cheats,
the
bro?
goat. Memo does the same shit and nobody says shit about it.
Exactly, yeah. Same thing.
Memo's
And another guy that shouldn't be allowed near boxing, but him and Conte. And then that's the funniest when they go at each other. It's like you're on the same boat, fuckers. Like, you're not better than the other. You know, it's like
You know they've always competed against each other, right? Like they
Exactly.
used to troll each other because he had Usain Bolt and he had I forgot who.
well, it was the Jamaican team. It was the Jamaican track and field
Yeah,
team. That's what Memo was dealing with.
Yep.
But
Usain Bolt, fastest man ever, right? Still, or did he get beaten already?
I think I don't know. You know, I don't pay attention to that anymore. But
Me neither.
it's interesting that people always, when you bring up Conte, people always say, "Well, what about Canelo cheating?" Well, first of all, Canelo submitted a hair follicle test, so that whole clenbuterol thing was he was exonerated from that. But I still think he's probably on something. Yeah, I think, like Puro said, I think 90%. If you were to ask me, hey, would you be surprised if 90% of the guys, top boxers, pop dirty for something in the next couple of days? I would say no. I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing is this: if you're gonna accuse one guy, you gotta admit that and especially when you got a guy like Crawford who's associated with a known cheater, who has the inside track on VADA, which is the organization that he keeps pushing for testing, and he knows how to beat the test. And then when Memo Heredia is in the business and he goes, watch out for Memo Heredia. Well, fucker, how about watch out for you? Because there's no difference between you and Memo other than the fact that you're working with VADA and Memo dislikes VADA. That's the only difference. Other than that, they're both working with fighters after having cheated for years.
And you know who I just realized is an entire piece of shit, and I should have picked up on it when he did Bronco Lara dirty. Eddie Hearn.
Oh yeah.
And Chihuas, I called it, bro. I told my buddy Kopi, I told him if and I called the victory Chihuas over Galao Yafai is his name. Yeah, bro. Like literally, like the difference in experience. Like literally, like he just beat Sonny, which Sonny is trash. I knew Chihuas was gonna fuck him up.
Yeah, something like who is it? Gonzalo always brings up that whole Lara thing in England. That was a strange situation. That's for sure. Did I cut off? Can you guys still hear me?
Bruh, I mean Eddie Hearn's.
Yo, that's what gives me a little bit of afraid, bro. Navarrete seems like he's gonna fight. What's the dude's name?
Sugar Ramos.
Sí, Ramos, way.
Can't wait.
Yeah, man.
Cutting off.
I feel
right? Like, I don't know. Are they gonna do my boy dirty again? Like, what's gonna go down, bro?
Hey, but hold on. Sugar Ramos didn't look all that
well,
hot.
they did the top rank already did Navarrete. Well, they've been doing Navarrete.
Sugar Ramos
he didn't beat it. He didn't look that good. That good,
yeah,
bro.
against Diaz. I mean, what the fuck was that, man?
He turned back the clock a little bit, Diaz. But still, I thought Sugar Ramos won it pretty convincingly. You get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, everybody thought we was going to murder him, right?
Mhm.
Like, Oscar Valdez murdered him, you know? So it's like
Right.
easy work, but no, struggle.
You know what, Navarrete?
I got Navarrete, bro.
Yeah, Navarrete, if he's on, because look, this dude went. Oh yeah, Sugar Nunez. Yeah, Sugar Ramos was a fucking Cuban guy, Panamanian or Cuban. I
sorry,
forget. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Sugar Nunez. Excuse me, Eduardo Nunez. Sorry.
that's all right. It escaped my mind too. But anyway, the point is this: Navarrete in his prime was dangerous, but he doesn't take it seriously. He's out there eating Twinkies in between fights. Even when he went onto the ring for the Nunez thing, he looked bloated already. It's like, fuck, man. This dude, look. Everyone's always screaming their pants over Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson beat, what's his name? Valdez. He beat Pitufo Diaz, and he beat Joed Gonzalez. Navarrete beat those guys up worse. He beat them down. He outboxed them on top of that, but he beat them down. And he stopped Diaz. He beat the crap out of Joed Gonzalez. And he beat the crap out of Valdez in the first one and then stopped him in the second one. So this guy is right up there in talent. But he just doesn't fucking take it seriously, and I can't take him seriously because of that either.
I disagree. He doesn't take it serious. Like I think what he says, I take it at face value. Like he doesn't take his diet serious. Everything else, bro. Like,
Well, that's what I
never
said.
really
Yeah.
heard that he's
It's the
not
same thing,
committed.
man.
You know?
No,
I don't
bro,
think
you're a
it's-
little right, bro. Cause like I would like to see him with some muscle definition, bro. Cause like you know what I mean. Like when I see him, siempre lo
Fuck
miro bien
that.
guanguillo, güey, lo
Andy
miro
Ruiz,
guango.
a little bit
You
of
wanna
muscle
see-
definition. He
LT wants to see muscles. He wants to
Turned
see
into-
Navarrete with a six-pack,
to a fucking
shirtless.
crappy fighter. What are we talking about? We need
LT.
Fat Andy Ruiz is a killer, bro. That's what we need.
LT, that's
Bro,
not kind of suspect,
listen,
man.
bro.
No, that's not kind of suspect,
Listen,
man.
bro. Fucking Barrera, bro.
No,
Go
all
back
jokes aside,
and
man,
watch Barrera, bro. Go back and watch Barrera, bro, on his fucking prime. Go back and watch Marquez, bro. Go back and watch Morales. Those are, when you see them, bro, they're all fucking cut, dude. They're chiseled. They're not like fucking muscular. But when I see Navarrete, dude, he's a little flabby on the sides with like women hips. Like I see him, he has women hips, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Bruh,
He's a fucking, you know what I mean? Like
Mexican
that's what
fighter,
I want from
some
Navarrete,
say the
bro.
greatest fighter
Tune it
ever.
up. I
Julio
want to see you
Cesar
cut.
Chavez
Maybe you're
was
not
never a
big on muscle,
fighter,
but I
bruh.
want to see you
Ever.
cut, bro. I want to see you. You know what I mean, bro? Like.
So, in other words, LT, what you're saying
No,
is
all
you
jokes
want to
aside,
see.
man. Navarrete, man.
Huh?
So, LT, what you're saying is just to recap. LT wants to see Navarrete. He wants to see how
Greatest of all
big.
time. Julio Cesar Chavez was never cut. I'm sorry.
LT wants to see how big Navarrete can get. He wants to see how ripped and tight he can get. So those are LT's words right there. Those are LT's words. That's exactly what he
Man,
said.
you're
But
really twisting my words, bro. But fuck it.
How
I didn't
aggressive
really.
he got, right?
I actually had to strain them
He's
out.
pushing his
because-
words, but he agrees
Listen,
with you
bro.
completely.
It's just when I see Navarrete, bro, he looks like he has women hips, dude.
All right, Severino,
Like,
what were you going to
he-
say? Hold on,
Those
Severino
women
was
hips
gonna-
like beat the shit out of fighters on a regular.
Because he does.
Right?
I was going to say that.
Am I wrong, fool?
He's a woman.
Hold on, fellas.
But he does
please,
have
please.
like woman hips, right?
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
He's the actual goat then. He's the
Female to
actual
male.
goat, not Clarissa.
He's the new GOAT.
All right, hold on.
Like the dude looks like he
Go
can
ahead
bear
and
a
find out
child,
if he's a
bro.
woman.
He's the real GOAT.
He's
Tell you
he's
one,
all jokes
one
aside,
fighter
man,
he couldn't destroy
Nava-
was the guy that Cafu beat, or was it Cafu or no? The guy that Bruce Carrington robbed. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, he just fought on Pro Box, by the way. He just scored a knockout win, that African dude. But hold on, I want to, Severino, what were you going to say?
The African guy beat him.
Hold
he's
on,
from
hold on,
Northern
Severino.
California.
Everybody that gets into the ring with Navarrete, he beats the crap out of them. Even when he
talking
scored a
about
draw with
Sigawa.
Yakuza.
Except for that one fighter from Northern Cali.
Sigawa.
He
Sigawa.
when he lost
Sigawa
against
beat-
what's his name? When he lost against what's his name?
Baranchyk.
At
Yeah.
135. Dude, I think he knocked him down, but I remember seeing Baranchik's face all bloody and all swollen shit.
Navarrete and Baranchyk?
Yeah, but Baranchik
Yeah.
took a beating in that fight.
Bro, I thought Navarrete got robbed.
Like, he took a motherfucking beating.
Navarrete won that fight. He didn't
And that
look
was
good.
at one.
Don't get me wrong, he
35
didn't
though.
look good, but bro,
So
Baranchyk,
the talent is there, and the thing is, he doesn't have the commitment. I think Navarrete is one of those guys. I think he thinks in his mind that he already made it. You know where I came from. You know, like I came, from this little town from Mexico, and I have, a couple of meals or whatever. I can
Wait,
buy
hold
you
on,
a couple
hold
of
on.
taquerias now.
I gotta find out now. What the hell, LT? What the hell's so funny, man?
Sounds like Mario
I'm
64.
laughing at
Is he
fucking-
okay?
I'm laughing at
Okay,
Bad
LT?
Chat, bro. His comments, his posting, dude, is just making me laugh, dude.
He looks like he's 3 months
¿Cómo
pregnant.
se llama
He
ese
looks like-
puto, bro? He's Mexican American, bro, and like he beat Venado Lopez, and then Navarrete beat him, but like literally like Navarrete struggled. What's his name? Fucking
Bernardo Lopez.
Your títere would know his name, bro. He used to like fucking praise him all the time.
Oh, you mean his first loss?
Yeah. ¿Cómo se llama,
I think
pinche
it was like
güey?
something in
Segawa
Mexico
beat him.
and-
Segawa beat him.
Ah,
I think
okay,
even he
well.
admitted, like, when he lost, even he didn't know what the hell happened. It was one of those.
It don't
like,
matter,
shitty-ass
but that
fights in
was
Mexico.
yeah, he struggled. That's not what I think.
Yeah, the Berenchik
yeah, it's
Berenchik
probably-
fight, like you said, Severino, the Berenchik fight, I do remember he stunned Berenchik. I forget which round, but that was a bad style matchup too for Navarrete's weight. His cap is 130. But that's his problem, though. Because of his lifestyle, he's struggling to make 130. But at 135, he's going to get cooked because those guys are going to be bigger than him and they're faster. And his advantages are his awkwardness, his timing, and his power. He's going to lose most of that if he fights some of these other dudes, even though now there seems to be a bit of an exodus from the lightweight division. Like, for example, Keyshawn Davis is moving up. Shakur Stevenson appears to be moving up now to 140 to fight Teofimo Lopez. So we got Tank Davis, who doesn't appear to want to fight any of the top lightweights. You still got Cepeda. That's pretty much it. So maybe now Navarrete could slip in there and make something happen, but he should really just stay at 130, man. Wasn't he going to work with Memo? That's what I'd heard, right? That he was going to work with Memo.
I don't know, but it would make sense. And the Navarrete slander has to stop, bruh. It's not his lifestyle. It's his poor diet is why he struggles to make 130. But he always
That's part of a lifestyle. That's part of a lifestyle, Spuro.
Yeah, I understand, but like literally, like you're acting like this guy is Ryan Garcia or like Oscar De La Hoya, bruh. Like, bruh, this guy likes to eat Cheetos and Coke. What Mexican don't? Chetos y la Coca. Every Mexican loves this shit. Come on.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Had a vent a little bit, you know.
That's all right. Like I said,
He's
it's
not
a morning
sharp,
show.
Ruben Villa. Ruben Villa.
Ryan.
Ruben Villa is his name.
I don't think he's as sharp as Ryan Garcia, but I think he's better than Ryan Garcia.
Oh, that's a fact. Come on. I mean, like Ryan Garcia has all the talent, all the tools, but he's a moron. He's a moron and a waste of talent, bro. Just like Devin, just like Tank, just like Shakur, just like all these new American crappy fighters, bro.
Hey, by the way, two things. Shout out to Quantum Rob for his contribution with the super chat. He says, this dude said the love handles, and then he puts a laughing emoji and fire. Yeah, who brought up the love handles? Somebody mentioned the love handles.
I think it was LT.
LT?
Yeah, LT said he had women hips, yeah.
Shout out to Quantum Rob for his contribution with the super chat. Listen, Navarrete is a good fighter, but it's like with the same thing with Andy Luis. A lot of talent, but I'm done with the dude. If he doesn't take it seriously, I don't take him seriously either. The guy that really doesn't.
He's gonna beat all your favorite fighters, BDA, and I'm gonna go out on a limb if a Navarrete and a prime Pacquiao would fight, Navarrete will mop the floor.
All right.
And I'm sorry to destroy your Filipino god. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
you know what? You might have a case, bro. But I can assure you right now, bro. But Navarrete's pound for pound entertainment, bro.
Puro, you're on the West Coast, right? Puro, you're on the West Coast, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's too early to do whatever it is you're drinking or putting up your nose. Too early for that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Bro. It's
sorry.
Putting up
Never
your
again.
bro.
Manny Pacquiao's the god. Manny Pacquiao I trust. I'm sorry.
But you know what though? The guy that I am high on from Mexico, Espinosa. El Divino Espinosa. That dude is what Navarrete could be more often. Like, tighter technique. Although, no, actually, Navarrete, what makes him effective is his technique. So forget that. But what I'm saying is he's tall and lanky like Navarrete, but this dude has a gas tank that doesn't stop. Good punching technique on the, tall guys usually don't fight well on the inside. But this dude, he just on the, and what's his name? When he fought Ramirez, what's his name? Lovesi. He was hurt.
Roquitzi?
Ah, come on. Quincy. But yeah, he had him hurt bad, man. Espinosa was hurt bad. And
he's a fucking quitter.
yeah, I know. But Espinosa took those shots. He got out from the knockdown, which was a bad knockdown. And he came back and he dropped Espinosa, not Espinosa, Ramirez, and then made him quit in the second one. So, let's not forget Edwin Vasquez. Edwin Vasquez gave Raymond Ford hell. I thought, and a lot of people thought he could, easily could have gotten the win. Yeah. Then he goes to 130 to fight Cordina. I thought he lost that fight, but he gave Cordina hell.
Robbed again.
Yeah, and then Espinosa goes in there and fucking mollywhops the guy. What was it, 5 rounds or something like that? So Espinosa is someone to watch out for.
I lost $50 because I thought Vasquez was going to go distance. I lost $50.
Oh, yo, shit. Bro, if Canelo loses, bro, you won't see me in the next 2 weeks, bro.
Would you stop it? If he loses, he loses. What the fuck, man? If he loses, he loses.
I got too much bets online, bro. I got too much bets online, dude.
Well,
Like, bruh. But if you were a content creator, bro, you would be back the next day because Canelo pays the money.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, whatever happens, it's going to be interesting afterwards. So might as well make the most of it. There's also another guy at 122, I think. 118, 122. El Chapulín. What's his name? You guys ever heard of this dude? He's a southpaw, undefeated. Mexican, El Chapulín something. This dude looks good, man. There was even a guy on Discord saying he was better than Bam Rodriguez, which, it's too premature.
Oh wow, that's a big
El
that's a big statement. And I
I've
used
never
to
heard
be
of that
very
motherfucker,
critical of Bam
bro.
until he shut me up.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, you weren't high on Bam.
Talking about Chapulín.
Oh, shit, we're cutting off. No, people are saying El Chapulín Colorado. No, El Chapulín Colorado. I just found him.
He fought.
Yeah, we're cutting off.
Carlos Cuadras without earning.
All right, so hold on. You guys are cutting off. Hold on. If you
I need
can
to
hear
start
me.
incorporating the word glaze into my vocabulary, bro.
Yeah, sorry about that. Every time I switch on the screen now because of StreamYard, my this fucking thing can't handle it. But I just heard, the last thing I heard was Puro hating on Bam again. But the guy that I wanted to bring up, the El Chapulín, his name is.
I was just pointing out the facts that were back in the day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. What you call facts is actually hating. But Jose Salas Reyes, that's the guy. El Chapulín.
Hating, bro.
I'm
so he earned himself a title shot versus Carlos Cuadras.
Puro. I'm kidding around, man. Puro, I'm busting. Puro, I'm busting balls. I'm busting your balls. I'm busting balls. Let me get to this.
Chingazos is behind this. Chingazos is behind this.
Let me get this. Yeah, I know. It's always on Chingazos. The guy's name that I talked about, Chapulín, he's 23 years old. He's 5 feet 7 inches tall. He's a southpaw. His name is Jose Salas Reyes. Jose Reyes. He's 16-0 with 10 knockouts. All I gotta know is, does he have a chin? If he's got a chin, we're halfway there.
Was Mexicano? What Mexican don't have it?
Well, I mean, come on. There's been Mexicans.
Rivero literally was beating the hell out of this Mexican cat yesterday, bro, and took it all.
That's true.
Wow,
that's
crazy.
true.
Did you see that, BA? Mr. Rivera's fight?
No, I didn't see it.
Bro, this guy could take a shot, man. Anyway.
Hey, by the way,
yeah.
Fu, why do you keep dropping off, man? Fu.
He's fingering the hole.
Come on.
I don't know. It's dropped. The connection just keeps dropping. I don't know. I think it says on my cell phone. I have no idea.
The Cafe Bustelo Wi-Fi is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I got 2 bars on here.
Fu, when are you gonna do a show? When are you gonna do a show that's open to the panel?
I'm stealing my Wi-Fi from my neighbor.
Fu, when are you gonna do a show?
Expert panel.
No. I'm talking. All right. Well, yeah, maybe that's one. Yeah. All right.
Oh, like the Fu Sports Show.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of open ones on there. I might do some soon. It's just when I have the 2 mics in the room, the Discord makes me put my mics at 100%, so it creates a lot of room echoes. That's one of the reasons I have issues with it. But if it's by myself, it's open. I'm gonna start putting listings out for it. People want to jump on
listings.
Bam. What do you call it? You put out the notification and
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're stuck in the fucking newspaper days. I'm gonna put up a listing for my. I want to sell my wood still. Yeah, get the fuck. All right, well, listen.
I got some fish tanks to sell.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna see an ad on fucking Craigslist for food.
I'm gonna put a Craigslist ad and kill people.
Right.
BDA, who do you think behind the channel, the Exodus Files?
That's me.
That's a good question, man. That is a good question. You know what? The narrator, because there's 2 guys. There's a narrator, and then there's a guy that sounds like an Afro-Anglo, who I think might be a trainer of some sort. The narrator, though, he sounds a little bit like Frank Bay. I don't know if you guys remember Frank Bay. He used to have a channel. Yeah, but he disappeared. Well, no. But he sounded like that. So I at first I thought, hey, it might be Frank Bay. I don't know. What do you guys think? Who could it be?
I think it's
Max Kellerman.
Ryan Garcia's team.
Yeah, possible. That's what I thought because
It's someone Ryan. It's someone Ryan's paying to clear his name.
That's what I'm thinking. Because it all happened after the Haney Garcia PD thing. Which, by the way, something people don't talk about enough is that Garcia submitted a hair follicle test. He proved, like Canelo, he exonerated himself. But people don't talk about that enough. They just talk about, then why was he suspended then? Well, because it's strict liability.
No, it's just everybody. I mean, you know, like literally, like people with an opinion give the one that they want to give.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, no one ever talks about Crawford's gloves. Huh?
Jaime Munguia went through the same exact thing Ryan Garcia just went through, and he got completely exonerated in a matter of months.
But you'll still hear the whole Canelo's Eddie Reynoso, seven guys on his table, 7 guys. That's the amount
We
of
got
dicks
2
that they
more
sell.
got removed. Yep, that's it. I mean, Crawford's done a lot more than that.
Oh,
And
well, I
Munguia
don't know
has
about
the
that.
resources to fight that fight. What about my boy? Fucking no somos payasos or somos hombres no payasos. That's my dude, man. What's his name?
No somos
I forgot his
payasos.
name. That's how it's been suspended.
Madrazos?
Sonny Edwards ducked him for like the entirety of his career. He beat the shit out of his little brother.
Rey, no.
El Rey.
It was Vargas,
Martinez?
right? No, Martinez. Yes, thank you, Martinez. Yeah.
Rey Martinez, El Rey. Like who's gonna
Cesar
stand
Martinez?
up for him?
I knew it.
Because you don't have a lot of resources like these dudes do.
That's true. That's a good point, man. It's always someone getting screwed.
What are you gonna do?
Someone always getting screwed out there. Well, listen, fellas, we've been on for 3 hours. I gotta run. I gotta go get some breakfast. But it was
no.
It was good
I
talking.
don't know. Can you?
just warming up.
You're gonna have for breakfast, bro.
No, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna have for breakfast because
Come
then
on, bro.
people-
Tell us, bro. I wanna know what a BDA goes out there for, like breakfast, like in Canada, Mexican in Canada. What is?
Yeah,
it
then
like?
that's the thing. Then people find out what.
Isn't it obvious? Lumpia and punzit.
He just drinks a bottle of vodka.
Lumpia.
All right, BDA, what you gonna have for breakfast, bro?
You know, but
There you go. Yeah. Like Wilder said, what is known doesn't need to be explained, or something like that. But
so you're gonna have some huevitos, bro?
of course, and that's huevos, and that's it. That's all. That's all I'll say. Huevos. I already got some downstairs. And I'm just gonna, reinforce them. But shout out to
Hey man,
Joe.
thank you for having me, BDA. Much love to everybody at the panel, bro. See you later on tonight, bro, when Canelo smashes fucking Bud Crawford's face.
Oh.
All right.
Shout out to LT. Yeah,
my
well,
God.
Smash. Yeah, Smash sounded a little weird. Shout out to Puro. Shout out to Severino, Timboski, Real Food TV, and LT. Salute, guys. Thank you for jumping on.
Oh yeah, have a good day.
Pancho Villa says,
all right, then you faggots, I'm out.
all right, take it easy, guys. I'm out. I'm out.
Motherfucker.
What the fuck? Yeah, StreamYard really fucks up in conjunction with the OBS. I apologize for if you guys heard them talking over each other or if you heard me talking, it's because StreamYard doesn't work on my thing here. I'm glad I didn't pay for it because I was thinking about paying for it in the build-up to Canelo Crawford. Nah, it wouldn't have worked out. It would have been a shit show. But shout out to all those guys who joined us, man. Shout out to, like I said, Severino, Tumboski, Puro, Food TV, who else? LT, of course. Shout out to LT. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Joe Solo for establishing his membership program. Shout out to Joe Solo. Really appreciate it. Glad to have you on board. And hopefully you guys, you enjoyed the show. Pancho Villa says, BDA eats like Emmanuel Navarrete. You know what? This year, I did go a little bit overboard, but I'm doing a lot of high-intensity interval training. I'm tired of fucking 2-hour workouts where you slow it down and then you go up and then you slow. No. From now on, 6 to 12 minutes of high-intensity interval training, and that's it. I'm done for the day. I'm past the age where I gotta be fucking proving myself to people. I already have a reputation in the neighborhood, by the way. People know who I am. When I'm walking down the street, they cross to the other side. Now, part of that has to do because I don't shower, but I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm a badass, or at least I like to think so. But shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Puro, who says, no offense to los gays. Well, I don't think we have any of those on this chat, so you don't need to worry about that. Tu Matador says they don't have menudo in Canada. Well, they don't have a lot here in Canada. Windy City says, I'm glad BDA has his prostate in check now. I actually do need to go relieve myself, so it might not be as strong as you think. OG Blaze is Ray Martinez. Yeah, that's the guy. I always confuse Ray Martinez with Ray Vargas because of the Ray. Gene Ryu says, was it of the pubic variety, Mr. BDA, the sample he provided? Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, if I had to provide a hair sample, you can bet your ass that it would be a pubic hair, just to fuck him over. Windy City, Food TV isn't allowed. Oh, he calls him Full TV. Come on. Barry Nivola says, Fulton, Ball, and Leo Inoue, in my opinion, would school Espinosa. No, what? Fulton, Ball, and Leo Inoue would school, but Espinosa, that's a different story altogether. I don't know how Inoue would do 126. He's got to get past MJ first. That's not a given. So shout out to everybody who joined us here on the show. Again, it's fight morning, and it's going to be fight night soon enough. So hopefully you guys are pumped up for that, just like all of us. Make sure to hit that like. Hopefully you guys have a good time. And shout out to everybody here who joined us on this show. I'm talking about, hold on a second, I got to play the outro music here. Shout out to Buddy Love. Buddy Love. That sounds like the name of a character from a comedy movie or something. I don't know what to make of it. But like I said, shout out to Tu Matador, Puro Sur. Hold on a second. This is lagging on me again. There we go. The music, outro music. Shout out to Puro Sur, OG Blaze, Tu Matador, Pancho Villa, Windy City, Quantum Rob. Shout out to Quantum Rob. Let me see. Tu Matador, The Tavern. That's Matt Chat. Shout out to the Matt Chatter. Tarsan RC. Who else? Pancho Villa, Barry Nivola. Shout out to Barry Nivola. Arm Planet Talks Boxing. LB. J Colt. Nate. Vince Vegas. Who else? Technique. If I forgot anybody, it's because we gotta go. Impala #CCD. Shout out to you guys. All of you guys. You know who you are. We'll see you later on tonight. Enjoy the fights. Go check out Never Sobers if you want to. I think he's still up. And the Food TV said he might go online as well. So check out the real Food TV. That's the real Food TV over on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, fellas. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Whoa. Catch you in the next one.